The school beauty rejected my confession 999 times, so I switched to a new system. After 999 failed confessions to the cold school beauty, Cheng Huan, feeling disheartened, untied the cheating confession system. I thought I would end my college life in a dull way with more than a month left, but I didn't expect to be bound to a more advanced super-rich system. Chapter 1, Confession Failure, My Heart Shattered into 999 Pieces. May 19, 2020. 1:13 p.m. Jinggang University, under Building 9 of the girls' dormitory. At this moment, a crowd of over a dozen female students had gathered, watching a boy and a girl. Even from the windows above, many people had peeked out, curious about the scene. The boy, Cheng Huan, 22 years old, was a senior in the sports academy, majoring in basketball. He had short hair, fair skin, and stood at 1.92 meters tall. If looks could be converted to credit, his card would have an unlimited limit. Plus, he was excellent at basketball, making him the campus heartthrob at Jinggang University. The girl, Nanxi, 22 years old, was a senior in the arts academy, majoring in ballet. She had a tall, slender figure, fair skin, and striking beauty, with a cool and aloof aura. Her large, clear eyes were as transparent as ice cubes, and the dimples on her cheeks appeared when she smiled. She was one of the top 3 most beautiful girls on campus, admired by countless male students at Jinggang University. 1:14 p.m. Cheng Huan began his confession. With a charming smile on his handsome face, he softly spoke to Nanxi. Nanxi, today is the 999th time I've confessed to you. Will you be my girlfriend? It had been 4 years. Except for the holidays when he wasn't on campus, he came every day to confess, no matter if it was windy or rainy. Even if Nanxi refused to come down, he would shout his confession from below. Over time, people had given him the nickname Silly Fool. Many of the girls present felt that time had passed so quickly. They had witnessed Cheng Huan's 999 confessions, like watching a drama that they couldn't bear to miss a single episode. Nanxi, expressionless, looked at Cheng Huan and said, "Thank you for your love, but I really don't have feelings for you. I'm sorry." For 4 years, their conversation had never changed. Cheng Huan gave a bitter smile and asked, "I've been chasing you for 4 years. You really don't feel anything at all?" "Really, not even a little," Nanxi said firmly, shaking her head. Her answer felt like a sharp blade, stabbing deep into Cheng Huan's heart, causing him pain. His eyes glistened with a lonely light as he spoke sadly, "4 years ago, when I first met you, I was stunned by your beauty. At that time, my heart felt like a little fish that had suddenly seen the ocean, eager to swim in. To win your heart, I tried to change myself, to become the best guy in your eyes. I learned to sing and dance, to play guitar and piano. I'm a sports student, but I worked harder than the guys in your department. I thought that such persistent love could move anything. Even if your heart was an iceberg, my sincerity could melt it. But today, these 999 failures have finally taught me something. Your heart is even more persistent than my love." Cheng Huan's sorrowful confession made many girls' eyes redden. Especially a beautiful girl with a mixed-race face next to Nanxi, whose tears began to fall. If a boy had confessed to her 99 times with such persistence, she would have accepted him without hesitation. She couldn't understand why Nanxi had such a cold heart. "Are you done?" Nanxi asked, furrowing her brows. She didn't want to hear any more. "Not yet," Cheng Huan gently shook his head, then spoke heavily, "One failure after another, like a pile of coins, have finally saved me enough money to leave you. A fish will die without water, but I refuse to be frozen to death in your cold heart. I can now proudly tell you, I will never beg for your love again. I am leaving." With that, Cheng Huan bowed deeply to Nanxi. "I'm sorry for disturbing you for 4 years. I sincerely apologize." Hearing his words, many girls began to cry. This 4-year-long drama was really ending in such a tragic way? They didn't want to see such an ending. At this moment, Nanxi still had a cold expression. If she weren't so heartless, she wouldn't have rejected Cheng Huan 999 times. "Nanxi, just accept him. Cheng Huan loves you so much, he'll make you happy for the rest of your life." The mixed-race girl finally couldn't hold back and spoke up, pleading for Cheng Huan. "Accept him, accept him." Soon, the other girls around them were wiping their tears and raising their arms, shouting for Cheng Huan. Even the dormitory manager came out and said to Nanxi, Nanxi, men are afraid of choosing the wrong profession, and women are afraid of marrying the wrong man. But Cheng Huan is absolutely reliable. You won't regret choosing him. Hearing this, Nanxi's face showed a hint of displeasure. If she could accept Cheng Huan, would she have rejected him 999 times? Are you done now? Nanxi looked at Cheng Huan. Her bright, bottomless eyes were filled with a light that was hard to understand. It was complicated. Yes, Cheng Huan nodded awkwardly. He had said everything he wanted to say, and everything he didn't want to say. Now, there was nothing more to say. Then I'll go to rehearsal. With that, Nanxi turned and left under the bewildered gazes of the crowd. She had experienced this scene hundreds of times. She walked calmly. The mixed-race girl gave Cheng Huan one last look before helplessly stomping her foot and chasing after Nanxi. Watching Nanxi walk away, as proud as a swan, Cheng Huan sighed softly. This proud swan would never land on his barren swamp. So be it. We can only eat what we can afford. When you're poor, your ambitions can't be short. On the road, the mixed-race girl asked Nanxi, why won't you give such a good man a chance? Nanxi looked up at the sky for a moment and said, I want to give him a chance, but heaven won't give me one. If love were a flower, she hoped it would bloom in her heart, wither in her heart, and be buried in her heart. What do you mean? The mixed-race girl was a bit confused. It means nothing. Let us go to rehearsal. Nanxi smiled bitterly and walked toward the rehearsal room with long strides. But her steps were heavy. Senior, tomorrow is May 20th, don't give up. Keep going. Senior, women may seem tough on the outside, but maybe next time will work. Remember, bring a bouquet of roses tomorrow. Don't show up empty-handed. Be more romantic. Senior, good luck. We all support you. At this moment, many girls were offering advice and cheering for Cheng Huan. Thank you for your suggestions, but there really won't be a next time. Cheng Huan smiled at these younger girls and casually turned to leave. Before, he had hoped that the next time would be the one. He had persisted 999 times. But those 999 failures had completely shattered his persistent heart. His heart was broken. Shattered into 999 pieces. He could no longer bear to shatter any more. The past couldn't be revisited. Memories were like cold winds blowing. Everything was over. Chapter 2, listening to your words again is like falling for the trap a second time. On their way back, Cheng Huan secretly yelled at the system inside his body, damn system, I want to unbind from you. I'm done playing with you, get the hell away from me. For years ago, he was inexplicably bound by this system, which claimed to be a confession system. Since then, the system had given him various skills like singing, dancing, and basketball. Then, under a series of convincing lies, he accepted a task to confess to Nanxi. The system promised that if Nanxi agreed to be with him, it would unlock more system functions and help him reach the peak of life. But if he failed the task, all the skills the system had granted him would be erased. So, from the first day of college, he shamelessly began pursuing Nanxi. He thought that with his looks and persistence, he would win her over in no time. But this chase turned into an endless drama. Over the past 4 years, he had endured various criticisms and hardships. He had been laughed at by others. He had been talked to by the police. He had been disciplined by the school. He had been beaten by Nanxi's classmates. He had turned down invitations to try out for professional basketball clubs. He had even willingly given up the entire forest just for this one tree, Nanxi. Now, he couldn't take it anymore. How many 4-year periods do you get in life? Especially these 4 years in college. What use is this damn system? Beep confirm if the host wishes to unbind from this system. Once unbound, all the skills previously acquired will disappear. Unbind, unbind, hurry up and unbind. Even if I don't know anything now, I don't want to live like this anymore. Cheng Huan was beyond frustrated. Thinking about all the suffering and the girl he had sacrificed for, he didn't hesitate at all. Beep, the confession system is being unbound. 99%. 50%. 1%. Beep, confession system unbinding successful. Phew. When Cheng Huan heard the sound, he let out a breath of relief. Finally, he no longer had to live under the shadow of this task. Even though he truly loved Nanxi in his heart. But now, he was a young man brimming with vitality. The demand was huge. And those pimples on his face kept coming back, one after another. Even the Lion King pimple cream didn't work. Moreover, the ugliest guy in the dorm, Urguzi, had already taken a beautiful girl into his arms. And they were constantly flaunting their affection in front of him. This made him even more furious. He was 100 times better looking than him, so why couldn't he have a girlfriend? Now, there was only a month left before graduation. He was determined to seize this last chance of youth. Before graduation, he had to experience a passionate love affair. He wanted to end his identity as a bald guy. With that thought, he took out his phone from his sportswear pocket and flipped through the contact list, dialing one number. "Hey, Lin Xiao Xiao, it's Cheng Huan. Do you have time to grab dinner tonight?" "What? You're going to spend time with your boyfriend? Okay, goodbye." "Hey, Zhang Yanran, any plans tonight? I want to take you to the movies." "You're busy." "Hey, my Yuting, I can teach you how to play basketball tonight. You like watching soccer now? Well, go ahead and watch it, you won't die from anger." After calling 3 girls who had confessed to him in the past, Cheng Huan got the same response: they were all busy. These girls didn't keep their word. They had all promised they would wait for him forever. Yet just a few days later, they had already found new loves. Damn confession system, you really screwed me over. Cheng Huan was so angry, his teeth were grinding. Now, the entire forest had been chopped down. Beep Super Rich system has been successfully loaded. Would the host like to bind with it? Hearing this, Cheng Huan was completely fed up. Damn it. He had just cursed away one confession system, and now another super rich system appeared. Was it targeting honest people like him? Quickly, Cheng Huan secretly inquired, "Are you just the confession system wearing a different skin, trying to trick me again?" Beep, this system is the supreme version of the confession system. Would the host like to bind with it? He had guessed it right. This was indeed the confession system in disguise. No binding, get lost. Cheng Huan decisively refused. Once bitten, twice shy. He wasn't about to fall for the same trick again. There was just a little over a month left in his college life. He had to focus on real matters now. Maybe he could still make some quick progress. Beep, this system will not deceive their host. It will help their host become a super rich person. Trick me some more, go ahead. For years ago, the previous confession system had deceived him just like this. If their host doesn't believe it, they can bind and try it. There will be many surprises. System, please find someone else to deceive, okay? If I listen to you again, it'll be like falling for the trap a second time. Cheng Huan was really getting annoyed. He didn't care what kind of system it was. This system is not fooling around, it's serious. If their host finds that this system is deceiving them, they can unbind at any time. The power is in their host's hands. The system was starting to get a little frustrated. This host was truly hard to please. If it had a choice, it wouldn't be so humble. Cheng Huan hesitated for a moment. Finally, he couldn't help but ask, "What kind of surprise do you have?" This system will immediately make their host a billionaire. Really? Cheng Huan was moved. Who doesn't want money? And not just any money, billions. This system will not deceive their host because we are one. If their host wins, we all win. Cheng Huan thought carefully for a moment, then said, "All right, I'll bind with it and give it a try." Beep, super rich system binding successful. Their host has received a super gift pack. Please use your mind to open it. The next second, Cheng Huan felt a flash before his eyes as a screen panel appeared. Host, Cheng Huan. Skills, 0. Super rich points, 0. System warehouse, super gift pack 1. System mall, not opened. After seeing the panel, Cheng Huan was taken aback. This super rich system was definitely different. It even gave him a gift pack. The previous confession system had barely given him anything. The skills it granted him were all taken back. Following the system's instructions, Cheng Huan used his mind to open the super gift pack. Beep, congratulations, the host has received 10 billion super rich points. Beep, congratulations, the host has received a super body cleansing card. Beep, congratulations, the host has received one chance for a 3-time draw. I wanted cash, not 10 billion super rich points. What's the point of this? After hearing that, Cheng Huan felt like he had been tricked again. Beep super rich points can be converted into cash at a 1-to-1 ratio. Hiss. After hearing that, Cheng Huan took a sharp breath. So the 10 billion super rich points was actually worth 10 billion cash. Convert 10 billion into cash for me. Beep. Not long after, his phone rang. A text message appeared. Your industrial and commercial bank card ending in 5534 has received a transfer of 10 billion. This card has been upgraded to a diamond card. Please bring the card and your valid ID to any of our branches to complete the upgrade process. Seeing that the 10 billion cash had really been transferred into his bank account, Cheng Huan almost laughed out loud. Smack! In his excitement, he accidentally dropped the phone on the floor. Damn it! He was so happy, but now the screen was cracked. Chapter 3. This system is amazing. After picking up the phone, Cheng Huan secretly asked, System, what is the use of this godly rich points? What is that super marrow cleansing card? Ding, the godly rich value is the current wealth value of their host. It can be used to purchase various rare goods in the system mall. Their host needs to obtain them from task rewards and lotteries. You can also sell unwanted assets to this system store in exchange. Using the super marrow washing card can instantly give the host a perfect appearance and strong power. What if I fail to complete the triggered task in the future? Cheng Huan asked quickly. This is what he cares about most. Don't make it like the previous confession system, where you would lose some skills if you fail to complete the task. Ding, the system will deduct 10% of the godly rich value. Understood. Cheng Huan responded secretly. Where there are rewards, there are punishments. This is beyond reproach. As long as he can bear it. Host, would you like to start the lottery? Smoke. Ding, congratulations to their host for obtaining a Super Car King card. Ding, congratulations to their host for obtaining a Super Sports Car. Ding, congratulations to their host for acquiring 100% equity of Jingang Dahao International Hotel. The lottery is over, the prizes have been distributed, and all are stored in the system warehouse. The host can use his mind to collect them. Upon hearing that he had won all the shares of Dahao International Hotel, Cheng Huan was so excited that he almost jumped up. That is the most famous 5-star hotel in Jingang, surrounded by mountains and the sea. Now, it actually belongs to his property. This is really a calf's mother, an old cow. After calming down his excitement, Cheng Huan continued to ask, can using this Super Car King card give me super driving skills? Will make their host the king of the track. I understand. Cheng Huan responded secretly and used his mind to check the system warehouse. It was discovered that there were indeed some cards and a share certificate of the Dahao International Hotel stored inside. There is also a red car model with a cool shape. Instantly, Cheng Huan raised his eyebrows and asked, System, are you mistaken? Is this a car model or a supercar? Ding, as long as their host uses his mind, he can take this car out of the system warehouse and turn it into a super sports car. Damn. This is awesome. Cheng Huan looked around and saw many students passing by. It's not a good place to start. So he trotted all the way to an open space outside the school. After checking that there was no one around, he quickly used his mind to take out the model of the supercar. When this car appeared, Cheng Huan was completely stunned. As a boy, he is no stranger to various supercars. But this supercar was something he had never seen before. Not a Bugatti, not a Ferrari, not a Lamborghini, and not a Koenigsegg. It is the Hongqi S18 produced by Huaxia. The license plate number is Dong ACH888. System, how much is this car? Ding, this car is a private customization, using a whole magneto-electric engine with 2,500 horsepower. As long as the Earth's magnetic field is stable, the supercar can continue to run. The car body is made of advanced titanium ink alloy, which can protect against missile bombardment. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Cheng Huan started to lose his composure again. This car is full of black technology. It seems that this system is really amazing. After a moment of surprise, Cheng Huan couldn't help but quickly take out a matchbox-sized LCD car key from the system warehouse. Ding ding! The lights flashed and the doors unlocked. He walked forward, opened the scissor door and sat in. Suddenly, Cheng Huan felt what luxurious interior meant. There is no need to say much about the perforated leather seats, carbon fiber dashboard, and touch screen. The most dazzling things are the starry sky lights on the roof of the carport, which are all inlaid with broken diamonds. Ding, it is recommended that the host use the Super Marrow Cleansing card and Super Car King card now. Use. At this moment, Cheng Huan no longer doubted this super rich system. Wow. Soon, Cheng Huan felt as if all the muscles and bones in his body were burning and shattered. He was about to shout. But this uncomfortable feeling disappeared in an instant. Immediately afterwards, countless driving experiences came to my mind. Damn. It was really a moment. Then he looked in the mirror and found that his appearance seemed to have changed a lot. In the past, my teeth were a little crooked. Now it's neat and tidy. The eyes are bigger and brighter than before. Those eyelids are so big that they can pinch a mosquito to death. This face is cleaner and more handsome. Definitely a sunny type. The handsome limit has been increased to 1 billion. Ding-a-ling. At this time, his cell phone rang and it showed an unfamiliar number. Because the screen was broken, he had a hard time getting through. Hello. Hello, is this Mr. Cheng Huan? Their voice on the phone was that of a middle-aged man. It's me, who are you? Hello Mr. Cheng, I am Yang Yuan, the president of the ICBC Shuefu Road branch. Any questions? Cheng Huan asked in a panic. This is a transfer made by the system, could it be stolen? If that's the case, then he really has no way to defend himself and can only wait to be shot. This is a huge amount. Yang Yuan quickly explained, no problem, I just want to ask you, are you planning to deposit this money for a long time or transfer it in the short term? Upon hearing this, Cheng Huan heaved a sigh of relief and said, it will be kept in a long-term deposit for the time being. On the other end of the phone, Yang Yuan was delighted. This 10 billion yuan in deposits is equivalent to their branch's deposit business for 10 years. After all, there are no big companies near Shuefu Road. If I report this to the head office, it will definitely add a great deal to my future promotion path. So, when he first learned that the bank suddenly had a big customer with a deposit of 10 billion, he quickly called Cheng Huan. Then, he quickly asked, Mr. Cheng, if you are going to deposit it for a long time, I would like to help you develop a financial management plan for this money. After all, you are a big customer of our bank. We have the responsibility to help you maximize the benefits of this money, not just earn interest. Cheng Huan said, what you said makes sense. Yang Yuan asked again in a pleasant voice, Mr. Cheng, do you have time now? We can sit down and talk about this matter properly. Cheng Huan thought for a moment and said, yes, I'll be there in half an hour. Since he had nothing to do now, he went to the bank to check. Besides, he also wanted to go for a spin. Putting down his phone, Cheng Huan also pressed the start button of the car. Boom. This whole magneto-electric engine can actually produce the sound of a gasoline engine. It's so fucking wonderful. Once upon a time, Cheng Huan dreamed of owning a supercar. Today, the dream came true. Swoosh. He launched himself and headed toward the street. As soon as this supercar appeared, it immediately caused a sensation on the streets. So cool, so cool. Chapter 42 Credit Cards, a total of 2.5 billion. Half an hour later, Cheng Huan arrived at the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China on Shuefu Road and saw two people standing at the door of the bank. One was a middle-aged man about 35 or 36 years old, with a square face, ordinary looks, dressed in a suit, with shiny hair and leather shoes, and he was obviously a cadre. The other is a woman who may be in her 40s. Although she is middle-aged, she is still stunningly charming. She must have been a radiant beauty when she was young. After seeing this cool supercar parked in front of the bank, the two men hurried to greet it. Cheng Huan opened the door and got out of the car. Hello Mr. Cheng, I am Yang Yuan, welcome to our bank. Before Yang Yuan's people arrived, he stretched out his hands and greeted them with a smile on his face. His first impression of Cheng Huan was what a low-key rich man he was. Wearing sportswear and driving a supercar. Hello. Cheng Huan said politely. After the two let go of each other's hands, Yang Yuan pointed to the woman nearby and said, Mr. Cheng, let me introduce you. This is Li Tsuetsue, our bank's key account manager. She will be responsible for the financial management of your deposits from now on. Sister Li is not only the best financial expert in our bank, but also a visiting professor at the University of Finance and Economics. Hello Mr. Cheng. Li Tsuetsue smiled and quickly stretched out her hand. Hello, Sister Li. Cheng Huan also smiled and shook hands with Li Tsuetsue. Elder sister? When Li Tsuetsue heard Cheng Huan calling her sister, she was so happy that she could hardly stop smiling. Judging from his current age, he is almost as old as Cheng Huan's mother. How could I not be happy when being called sister? I have to say that a title brings people closer together. Let's go to the VIP reception room and talk. After a moment, Yarn Yuan enthusiastically pulled Cheng Huan into the bank. Arriving at a VIP reception room on the third floor of the bank, Yarn Yuan pulled Cheng Huan to sit on a long leather sofa. Li Tsuetsue started to boil water and make tea. At this time, Cheng Huan's cell phone rang again. He took it out and saw that it was another unfamiliar number. I tried to swipe but couldn't get through. Your cell phone? Yarn Yuan asked curiously. I dropped it on the ground before I came here, and I haven't had time to change it yet. As Cheng Huan spoke, he swiped his phone hard. Finally, with his efforts, the phone was connected. Hello, who are you? Cheng Huan asked. Hello, boss. I'm Wang Ledong, the former general manager of Dahao International Hotel. I'd like to ask if you still plan to let me continue to be the general manager. The other party said directly. Cheng Huan said, yes, what's wrong? Wang Ledong said, it's like this. If you still want to continue to employ me as the general manager of the hotel, you have to sign the general manager appointment document for me again, otherwise many of the hotel's businesses will not be able to proceed. Now that the hotel has changed its owner, he, as the general manager, must get Cheng Huan to sign the appointment letter again. Otherwise, he would not be able to appoint other subordinates. Many businesses cannot continue to operate. Upon hearing what was going on, Cheng Huan said, okay, I'll be there as soon as I finish my work here. I have to say, he is really busy now. After hanging up the phone, Cheng Huan took out his ID card and bank card from his sportswear pocket and handed them to Yarn Yuan, saying, I have to go somewhere else to sign the appointment documents later. Please help me upgrade my bank card. After Yarn Yuan received Cheng Huan's ID card and bank card, he handed them to Li Tsuetsue and said, Sister Li, go down and help Mr. Cheng to upgrade his bank card, and then bring the financial management authorization. Also, go ask Lao Wang in the logistics department for a customized cell phone. Oh, and bring the cell phone number that ends with 5 consecutive 8s. It will be given to Mr. Cheng from now on. Upon hearing the mobile phone number with 5 consecutive 8s, Cheng Huan almost screamed out. This mobile phone number alone is estimated to be worth hundreds of thousands. However, banks and mobile companies have cooperation, and having such mobile phone numbers is really very common. Good. After Li Tsuetsue took Cheng Huan's ID card and bank card, she turned around and left the office. After a moment, Yarn Yuan asked Cheng Huan, what industry is Mr. Cheng in? Cheng Huan did not hide it from Yarn Yuan and said, the Dahao International Hotel is under my name. Upon hearing that Dahao International Hotel was owned by Cheng Huan, Yarn Yuan became even more attentive. He quickly took out another box of huazi, handed one to Cheng Huan and said, I didn't expect Mr. Cheng to be so promising at such a young age. He is truly a rare talent. Now, he had to be more attentive. If he could win over Cheng Huan and get his hotel to open a few more accounts with him, his future path to promotion would be more secure. Nowadays, bank presidents also have to use their connections to get deposits. Cheng Huan didn't smoke much, but he didn't refuse Yarn Yuan's kindness. After lighting it and taking a puff, he smiled at Yarn Yuan and said, it's not bad. Business is getting harder and harder. Next, the two of them started chatting about all sorts of things. Their relationship gradually became closer and they began to call each other brothers. Half an hour later, Li Tsuetsue walked back into the president's office with a stack of documents and a mobile phone box in her hand. Mr. Cheng, this is your mobile phone. This is your ICBC Diamond card. This is your ICBC Unlimited Black Gold card with a limit of 2 billion. This is the secondary card with a limit of 500 million. The password is the same as the Diamond card. Mobile banking electronic payment has been enabled for all of them. Here are some authorizations for financial products. Please sign these contracts. Li Tsuetsue placed these items one by one in front of Cheng Huan. Cheng Huan took a look at the documents, all of which were financial products with guaranteed returns. Although these returns are higher than interest, they also have a disadvantage, which is that they cannot be withdrawn in large amounts. What to do if you want to spend money? No problem, the bank has provided you with 2 credit cards with a total of 2.5 billion. Swish, swish, swish. He signed some of his names on the documents and handed them to Li Tsuei. Then he also opened the cell phone box. I found a golden Huawei Mate X2 phone inside. There is also a 8-digit mobile phone SIM card with the number 138 on it. He installed his cell phone number and the number consisting of 5 consecutive 8s into the new phone and started playing with it. At this time, Yarn Yuan said, "Brother, I want to ask you a favor." At this moment, Cheng Huan was in high spirits, and it was time for him to get to the point. I have to say, this guy really knows how to adapt to the situation. Cheng Huan nodded and said, "If you have anything to say, please tell me." Yarn Yuan said, "Can you ask the finance department of Dahao International Hotel to open some accounts with us, so that I can accumulate more performance? If I get promoted in the future, I will never forget your help." "That's no problem, it's a piece of cake." Cheng Huan agreed readily. "This money doesn't matter where you keep it. Wouldn't it be nice to do a favor for Yarn Yuan?" Yarn Yuan said with a smile, "Then I'd like to thank you here, brother." "You're welcome." Cheng Huan smiled. After writing down their phone numbers and WeChat accounts, he stood up and said, "I really have to go. Let's talk another day." "Okay, I'll take you there." Yarn Yuan also stood up and sent Cheng Huan downstairs. Before getting in the car, Yarn Yuan said to Cheng Huan, "I won't treat you to dinner today. I'll treat you another day." "Okay." Cheng Huan nodded. Boom. After a moment, Cheng Huan started the car and drove towards the Dahao International Hotel. Chapter 5. This deal is hard to find in the world. More than 20 minutes later, Cheng Huan arrived at the parking lot downstairs of the Dahao International Hotel located on the seaside of South City. After getting off the car, he looked up at the 51-story building. Now, the building belongs to him. Entering the hotel lobby, Cheng Huan saw how magnificently decorated it was. There is a coffee shop in the middle of the hall, and all around it are various luxury goods stores. Many well-dressed people are coming in and out here, indicating that business is very good. He came to the room service desk and asked a woman in dark professional attire, "Which floor is the general manager's office on?" The woman smiled at Cheng Huan and said, "What's your name, sir? Do you have an appointment with Mr. Wang?" Cheng Huan rolled his eyes. "I saw that he didn't need an appointment, so I called him and told him that the boss was here." When she heard Cheng Huan introduce himself as the boss, the woman bowed with a look of panic and said, "I'm sorry, boss. I didn't recognize you. I'll take you upstairs to see Mr. Wang." Who would have thought that the owner of a 5-star hotel would come wearing a sports suit? Is this to show that you are low-key? After a while, Cheng Huan and the woman took the elevator to the administrative area on the 18th floor. When a secretary at the door heard that the hotel's big boss had arrived, he quickly called Wang Ledong. Not long after, a man with glasses who looked to be in his 40s hurried over and bowed to Cheng Huan, saying, "Hello, boss." Cheng Huan nodded and said, "Where is the appointment letter?" Wang Ledong extended his hand and said, "It has been placed in your office. Please move to the boss office on the 51st floor." After Cheng Huan followed Wang Ledong in the internal elevator to the 51st floor, they walked into an extremely spacious and luxurious office. It looks like this place is at least 200 square meters. And that doesn't include the nearby study, cloakroom, bedroom, etc. Outside the huge floor-to-ceiling windows is the endless sea. The environment is nothing to say. Cheng Huan was excited when he walked over and sat in the soft and comfortable boss chair. I didn't expect that he would have the chance to sit in this position in his life. Then he looked at the appointment document on the table, which stated some of the general manager's duties and powers. After reading it, he signed his name on it. After handing the appointment letter to Wang Ledong, Cheng Huan instructed, "I don't have any extra requirements for your future work, but you must do it well for me. 0 excuses, 0 delays, 0 wrangling, and 0 rework. As long as there is work, there must be goals. As long as there are goals, there must be plans. As long as there are plans, there must be execution. As long as there is execution, there must be inspections. As long as there are inspections, there must be results. As long as there are results, there must be responsibilities. As long as there are responsibilities, there must be rewards and punishments. The attitude towards work, the speed of implementation, the accuracy of work, the strength of execution, the progress of goals, the angle of methods, the height of vision, and the hardness of being a person. Clear. After listening, Wang Ledong nodded quickly. He had already sensed from Cheng Huan's words that this young boss was by no means a mediocre person. Then, Cheng Huan said, "After you go down, notify their hotel's financial department and arrange for all their hotel's accounts to be transferred to the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China on Shuefu Road." Good. Wang Ledong did not dare to have any objection. After all, Cheng Huan owns 100% of this hotel. Go down first. Cheng Huan waved his hand. After Wang Ledong left, Cheng Huan was the only one left in the huge office. So he looked around here. This office is decorated to the level of a presidential suite. In fact, it is just a presidential suite with a different name. The large bedroom inside was decorated in an extremely luxurious style. All the furniture was made of small leaf red sandalwood, exuding an intoxicating sandalwood scent. The bathroom in the house was also astonishingly large, at least as big as 2 college dormitories. The large bathtub also doubles as a small pool. Damn, rich people just know how to enjoy themselves. After reading it, Cheng Huan sighed. I also thought that I would find an opportunity to look for a house again, and if I were to live in one, I would choose the best house in Jingang. He now has a career and money, the only thing he lacks is a house. If you have all these, will you still be short of women? Bite. At this time, the system prompt sounded again. Trigger the system task, purchase a property within 24 hours, with a maximum consumption of 1 billion renminbi. After completing the task, the host will obtain 2 billion Shanhao points and open the system all. Upon hearing about this kind of task, Cheng Huan secretly sighed that this super rich system is super. Not only is the task simple, but the rewards are also incredibly generous. Spend 1 billion renminbi, get 2 billion godly rich points, and make a net profit of 1 billion. This kind of business is hard to find in the world. He checked the most expensive property in Jingang City on his mobile phone. The information we got is that Oriental Miami Community is the community with the most expensive housing prices in Jingang City. The apartment building costs 88,800 yuan per square meter. The villa starts at 128,800 renminbi. Although Jingang has a population of over 10 million, it is only a second-tier city. Such housing prices are indeed very expensive. Most people cannot afford 1 square meter even if they work for a year without eating or drinking. Putting away his phone, Cheng Huan went downstairs. More than 10 minutes later, Cheng Huan drove to the vicinity of Oriental Miami Community. After parking his car in a nearby parking lot, he walked to the sales office. After taking a look at this magnificent sales office, Cheng Huan was filled with admiration. This is indeed the most expensive residential area in Jingang. The sales office alone is built like a small castle. The billboard at the door reads, "City on Water, Miami of the East, a feng shui treasure land for successful people to live in." What is a successful person? That's the person who buys the most expensive thing. What they live in is not a home, but a face. Cheng Huan put his hands in his pockets and staggered into the sales office. Even the door was opened by the security guard, so he didn't have to do anything. Entering the sales office, Cheng Huan saw that apart from some sales consultants, there were no one else buying homes. After all, the housing prices here are extremely high. Besides, it's past 4 o'clock now, which is neither noon nor afternoon, so it's normal that there are no customers. When the sales consultants here saw Cheng Huan coming in, they all stood up, 7 people in total. Suddenly, Cheng Huan was surprised. These people are all about 1.7 meters tall, wearing white short-sleeved shirts with wide collars that are about to burst out, navy blue hip skirts, black stockings, and high heels. Slim waist, long legs, extraordinary temperament. Compared with Nanxi, they are equally good and each has their own strengths. Even the stewardesses don't have the beauty and figures that are as stunning as these girls in this episode. Cheng Huan thought, no wonder people say that beautiful women are always around rich people. Now it seems that it is true. There are so many people gathered in just one sales center. These sales ladies thought a rich man had come in. But when they saw Cheng Huan together, they all frowned, with looks of contempt in their eyes. Sportswear. Sneakers. There is no secretary around. I don't have the keys to a luxury car. Are you here to buy a house or to pick up girls? Chapter 6, still as snobbish and mean as ever. Hello sir, are you here to see the house? Out of politeness, and seeing that Cheng Huan was indeed extremely handsome, a sales lady with a GAOU nameplate came over and greeted Cheng Huan with a forced smile. Cheng Huan rolled his eyes. If I'm not here to buy a house, is there anything else I can do here? Upon hearing this, the sales lady named GAOU sneered and said, Sir, I wonder if you have seen the billboard outside. I saw it. Cheng Huan nodded. What's wrong? At this moment, GAOU resisted the urge to curse and said, the small bungalows in the apartment complex in our Oriental Miami community have been sold out. Now there are only buildings over 200 square meters and some villas left. Hearing what she meant, Cheng Huan said with a straight face, Do you look down on me? No, no. GAOU smiled and shook his head. I'm just kindly reminding you, sir. After all, it costs at least 17 million to buy a house over 200 square meters here. Are you kidding? Can you afford it when you don't have more than $1,000 on you? It's just over 17 million, which is far from my goal. After hearing this, Cheng Huan just murmured something. At this moment, GAOU began to seriously suspect that Cheng Huan had escaped from Jingang 7th Hospital, and he took 2 steps back. It is not illegal for a mentally ill person to kill someone. Seeing GAOU take 2 steps back, Cheng Huan also frowned. He stared at GAOU and asked, Are you afraid that I will eat you? No. No. GAOU shook his head and explained, My legs are just numb from standing, so I want to move around. Are you numb? Cheng Huan looked at her long, straight legs, then asked playfully, How about I rub them for you? If you look down on me, I will kill you. Thank you. GAOU glanced at Cheng Huan coldly, No need. This guy doesn't look like a good person the more I look at him. You have to keep some distance from him. If not, please introduce your villa to me. As he spoke, Cheng Huan also walked towards the real-life sand table. Next, GAOU began to explain various information about the community to Cheng Huan. There are only 66 villas here in total, and 59 have been sold so far. The remaining 7 units are all larger villas with higher prices. Cheng Huan also listened seriously and kept asking GAOU some questions. At the beginning, GAOU still had some patience to explain to Cheng Huan. But when Cheng Huan began to repeatedly ask whether there was a tennis court, basketball court, or a private beach in the Miami Villa No. 1, GAOU finally couldn't hold it anymore. She said with a dark face, Sir, this Villa No. 1 is the most expensive building in our community. It is built entirely on an artificial island. The above-ground building area alone is 1,698.88 square meters. There are 2 floors underground, which is also over 2,000 square meters. Besides, they are not selling it by the piece, but the entire island. The current price is 1 billion. Are you sure you can afford it? Her voice was so loud that it startled all the sales ladies nearby, and they all looked over. Cheng Huan's face darkened, and he asked in a cold voice, Don't worry about whether I can afford it or not. I want to ask you, as a sales consultant here, do you have the obligation to answer these questions for me? So what? GAOU's face turned cold, and he crossed his arms over his chest and said, I will only explain any problem to potential customers, not to a man like you who has bad intentions. Please leave now, I will not give you my WeChat and mobile phone number. Damn? After hearing her words, Cheng Huan was completely stunned. It seems like she thought I was here to tease her. What's going on? At this time, a woman in a dark OL business suit walked out of a nearby office. She has long curly hair and an extremely delicate fair face with curved eyebrows, almond-shaped eyes, a high nose bridge, and a cherry mouth. Her figure is also quite hot, with clear curves. The face of an angel, the body of a devil. Any man who sees her will have a desire to conquer her. Seeing this woman, Cheng Huan was stunned. Oh my goodness, isn't this his senior schoolmate Zhao Yihan? Zhao Yihan, a senior student 1 year older than him, is 23 years old. Back then, Zhao Yihan also lived in girls' dormitory No. 9 and had a good relationship with Nan Shi. It is rumored that she successfully got married to an older man who was more than 10 years older than her not long after she graduated last year. He is the vice president of Yiting Group, the developer of Oriental Venice. When Zhao Yihan saw Cheng Huan, he was also slightly stunned. Obviously, she also recognized Cheng Huan. You know, Cheng Huan is a famous idiot in Jingang University, and there are very few people who don't know him. She didn't expect that after not seeing him for a year, Cheng Huan actually became more and more handsome. But this has nothing to do with her. In her eyes, being poor is ugly. Being rich is being handsome. Otherwise, she would not have married a man who was more than 10 years older than her. She did not go to greet Cheng Huan directly, but asked Gao coldly, "What's going on?" Gao said to Zhao Yihan, "Director Zhao, this guy said he wanted to buy villa number 1, but he asked a lot of questions except the price. I felt like he wasn't here to buy a house but to flirt with us, so I got a little mad at him." After hearing Gao's words, Zhao Yihan did not blame her, but sneered at Cheng Huan and asked, "Since you can't chase Nanxi, you changed your strategy and came to our sales center to chase these beauties." Cheng Huan pinched his nose and smiled, "Senior sister, I really came to see the house." Hearing this, Zhao Yihan sneered and said, "What are you going to buy with?" As soon as Zhao Yihan finished speaking, the whole room burst into laughter. "Director Zhao, do you know him?" Gao asked with some surprise. Zhao Yihan glanced at Cheng Huan arrogantly, then nodded and said, "I know him. He's a famous idiot from my alma mater, Jingang University. He would come to the dormitory where I used to live every day to confess his love to a girl. From what I know, he has been doing this for 4 years. He is absolutely infatuated." "Wow, what happened next?" After everyone exclaimed, someone asked curiously. "Cheng Huan, what happened later?" Zhao Yihan asked Cheng Huan with a mocking look on his face. Cheng Huan has experienced this kind of situation many times. He shrugged and smiled at Zhao Yihan, saying, "There will be no later. Today, I have completely given up pursuing Nanxi." Zhao Yihan clicked his tongue twice. "You shouldn't give up, you should stick to it until graduation. Even if you have to be a toad, you must do it to the end." She wanted to say, "Beautiful women, are they something you poor guys can just dream about? Even thinking about it in your mind is shameless." Upon hearing this, Cheng Huan cursed in his heart. In the past, this woman loved to laugh at herself every day. After not seeing him for a year, he is still as snobbish and mean as ever. Do you really think I am still the same wuxia amen? Chapter 7 Fairy Tale Castle. After a while, Zhao Yihan asked Cheng Huan, "Cheng Huan, you said you want to buy villa number 1. Yes." Cheng Huan smiled harmlessly. Zhao Yihan nodded and said, "Okay, I'll take you to see the villa today and let you see what the living environment of the rich is like." She guessed that Cheng Huan's purchase of a villa was fake and that she wanted to go there and take a look to see the real thing. This kind of thing has happened before. So, she decided to speak out on the spot and give this overconfident guy a good beating. "You can afford villa number 1, so how can you not be able to pursue Nanxi?" Cheng Huan asked with a smile, "Will you take me there in person?" "Yes." Zhao Yihan nodded, and also instructed Gao, who was nearby, "Go to the property company and give me the key to villa number 1. While waiting, Cheng Huan said to Zhao Yihan sweetly, "Senior sister, you are getting more and more beautiful now, and you have the aura of a successful woman." This may seem like a compliment, but it is also true. Zhao Yihan has indeed changed a lot. Hearing this compliment, Zhao Yihan asked proudly, "Are you greedy?" Forehead. This woman still speaks so directly. Cheng Huan chuckled and didn't answer. Saying that you are not greedy is deceiving yourself. A beautiful lady is a gentleman's dream. To say I'm greedy, it doesn't seem that strong. Seeing Cheng Huan's stupid look, Zhao Yihan looked at him with some disdain and said, "Look at how useless you are. You don't even dare to say you're greedy." Hearing this, Cheng Huan frowned. Damn it. What kind of women are these? Do they need others to tell them they are greedy in order to show their uniqueness? Not long after, Gao got the key back, and Cheng Huan followed Zhao Yihan out of the sales center and got into a red Cayenne. It's a nice car. As soon as he sat down, Cheng Huan looked around like a bumpkin, then gave a compliment. Of course, the landing price is 1.25 million. Zhao Yihan said with a proud look on his face. It's expensive. Cheng Huan smiled. Boom. After starting the car, Zhao Yihan drove Cheng Huan into the Miami community. This is a community that is completely modeled after the Miami coastal villa area. Waterways separate the residential buildings, and they are connected by bridges of various shapes. The waterway is very wide, with some small and medium-sized yachts docked in it. It has to be said that poverty limits Cheng Huan's imagination. I didn't expect that there is such a residence in Jingang. It's really good to have money. Superiority is evident everywhere. Aren't you good at basketball? Why don't you become a professional athlete? Zhao Yihan asked while driving. Cheng Huan shrugged and smiled. Before New Year's Day last year, I had an opportunity to try out, but I refused. Because you want to stay and continue pursuing Nanxi. Zhao Yihan glanced at Cheng Huan. Right. Cheng Huan nodded in acknowledgement. Zhao Yihan sneered and then said, although you are very handsome, this can only attract girls who have no ambitions. These days, smart women are not looking for handsome men but security. Can handsomeness be used as a credit card? Remember this from now on, a man needs to be rich to be interested in beautiful women like us. If you don't have money, just be content. Otherwise, in the end, you will be the only one who gets hurt. After listening to Zhao Yihan's long speech, Cheng Huan also chuckled a few times. What this woman said makes sense. A man without money will eventually be remembered by others even if he finds a beautiful girlfriend. Can't keep it. After a while, he grinned at Zhao Yihan and asked, Senior, I heard that your husband is 19 years older than you. He should be over 40 this year, right? Zhao Yihan rolled his eyes at Cheng Huan and said, We're divorced. Upon hearing this, Cheng Huan asked in surprise, You're getting divorced after only being married for a few months? Less than 5 months. Why? No reason. He is my stepping stone into the upper class society. I will leave him sooner or later. Depend on. This woman is really scheming. However, it is also common. There are so many scheming bitches in this society. A few minutes later, Zhao Yihan drove the car to an artificial island at the innermost part of the community and was blocked by the fence of a bridge. Zhao Yihan stopped the car and said to Cheng Huan, Let's walk over there. The two got out of the car and crossed the bridge to the island together. As soon as he came in, Cheng Huan saw a 3-story European-style building with staggered structures built on it. The overall look was very spectacular and shocking, just like a castle in a fairy tale. The huge courtyard is also arranged like a royal garden, which is quite beautiful and elegant. There are fountains, swimming pools, tennis courts and basketball courts. At this time, Zhao Yihan pointed at everything around him and introduced to Cheng Huan, See. This is the best building number 1 in our Oriental Miami. This artificial island covers an area of 7 mu, which is about the same size as the school playground. The front yard is more than 1,500 square meters, and the backyard is more than 800 square meters. It has an outdoor swimming pool, tennis court, golf course and other leisure and entertainment facilities. Although this place is close to the sea, because the Oriental Miami community is surrounded by mountains on 3 sides to block the wind, the sea breeze will not blow in directly, and the air here is not humid at all. In addition, in order to better protect the privacy of the owners, various precious trees are planted around this artificial island to provide cover, so there is no need to worry about privacy. Right in front of the yard is an artificial beach, and there are 2 berths for yachts nearby. Cheng Huan nodded, the environment here is really good. Zhao Yihan pursed her lips and swallowed back the curse she wanted to say. Do I need you to say this? Come on, let's go inside the building and take a look. Zhao Yihan took the key and took Cheng Huan to the gate of the villa. He pointed to the large copper door that was at least 3 meters high and said, These 2 copper doors were imported from Germany. Each door costs 1.5 million. This door alone costs more than 3 million. The owner can set up fingerprint and facial recognition to enter. Oh. Cheng Huan nodded. He was indeed shocked. Let's go in from the underground first floor. The main entrance is for the owner, so we can't go through that. After Zhao Yihan said that, he took Cheng Huan to one side of the villa and went down the stairs to the basement. After entering the underground first floor, Cheng Huan saw that the decoration here was so luxurious, even more luxurious than his office in the Imperial Hotel. The underground reception room has a ceiling height of 6 or 7 meters, with a huge crystal chandelier hanging above it. Then, Zhao Yihan took a step with her long legs and began to introduce Cheng Huan little by little. It has everything you need, including an underground living room, wine cellar, gym, home theater, entertainment room, laundry room, nanny room, and underground garage. What surprised Cheng Huan the most was that the underground swimming pool and underground basketball court on the 2nd floor below ground were both pure sea view houses. One side was a huge glass curtain wall, through which one could directly see the seabed, and some fish, shrimps and crabs were moving around outside the glass windows. Zhao Yihan introduced, these glasses are all pressure resistant and bulletproof. The cost of one wall is as high as more than 30 million. After listening, Cheng Huan smacked his lips. Beyond imagination. Chapter 8 Money is Everything. Not long after, Cheng Huan followed Zhao Yihan and took the elevator to the first floor. As soon as he came up, Cheng Huan almost fainted and fell down again. He finally got to know what luxury was. Seeing Cheng Huan's naive look, Zhao Yihan's face became even more proud. After she took off her high heels, her crystal-clear little feet stepped on a pure wool cloud pattern carpet. Cheng Huan also took off his Hueli shoes and stepped on it. So soft. Zhao Yihan continued to introduce Cheng Huan, the carpet you are standing on was bought from Persia. 1 square meter cost more than $10,000. This one has a total area of 64 square meters. Cheng Huan clicked his tongue. This is stepping on soft gold. The two walked into the lobby on the first floor, and Zhao Yihan began to introduce them to Cheng Huan one by one. That floor clock was produced by Vatran Constantine and cost 15 million. This piano is from the top brand, Facili, and is handmade. It costs $980,000. There are only 10 of this model in the world. This crystal chandelier was custom made from Swarovski, costing more than 55 million yuan, and it is the only one of its kind in the world. Most of the furniture here is from the world's most high-end and luxurious Wanno brand. The handrails of these stairs are all plated with pure gold, which consumes more than 300 kilograms in total. The paintings hanging on the wall are all Suzhou embroidery works by famous artists. Each painting starts at least 1 million yuan. Every time Cheng Huan heard Zhao Yihan introduce the price of an item, his heart would beat violently. These really were beyond his imagination. He was a newcomer to the world of the rich and really knew nothing. But it doesn't matter. You'll get used to it later. On the second floor, there are 5 suite-style bedrooms, each of which is over 100 square meters. The third floor is the owner's exclusive place, with an area of only more than 300 square meters, just like the presidential suite. There is a large master bedroom, a dressing room, a study, a large bathroom with separate wet and dry areas, a treasure room and a large open-air balcony. On some blank walls, there are many calligraphy and paintings by famous Chinese and foreign celebrities. There are also many antique porcelains placed on the shelves of the decorative grilles. Although these calligraphy and paintings and antique porcelain are not very valuable, they are just the right embellishment. I have to say that this decoration designer is really attentive. After visiting the first, second and third floors, the two stood on the open-air balcony on the third floor. Zhao Yihan looked out at the sea in front of him and said, "It took a year to renovate this villa, and it cost 350 million yuan. Upon hearing that so much money was spent on decoration, Cheng Huan couldn't help but smack his lips. What a fucking luxury. The palace is no different. Zhao Yihan added, now you see the living environment of the rich, right? Yeah. Cheng Huan nodded, and said with a refreshed look, it's really eye-opening. Hearing this, Zhao Yihan said proudly, since we are alumni, I brought you here to enjoy the sight. Don't come here to brag anymore. It will make me lose face. Cheng Huan grinned, senior sister, if I buy this villa in full, how much commission can you get? Now, it's time for Cheng Huan to fight back. Damn it. This was laughed at for over an hour. We have to find ways to get this revenge back. He is now going to use money to attack the snobbish woman Zhao Yihan. Not for beauty, just for a breath. Sell your child to buy a steamer, rather than steam buns to save face. After hearing this, Zhao Yihan just snorted and laughed, and said, Cheng Huan, I think you must be sick and have delusions. Cheng Huan shrugged and said, don't worry about whether I have paranoia or not. Just tell me how much you can ask for without discounts. 2 points, said Zhao Yihan. She was hiding something from Cheng Huan. If she sells their house, the company will reward her with a 1% commission. After all, although this building is good, it is too expensive. There are only a handful of people who can afford it in Jingang. Those who can afford to buy here already own their own villas, so why would they spend another 1 billion to buy a house? Besides, those rich people will definitely invest the 1 billion yuan. Who would buy such an expensive house? So, this building is the gimmick of the Miami community. Whether it can be sold is unknown. Cheng Huan nodded with a smile. I heard Gao say before that this villa seems to cost 1 billion, and a 2% commission is 20 million, right? Good. Zhao Yihan nodded. Cheng Huan smiled and said, "Tell me, if I buy this villa from you today with full payment without discount, and let you be my housekeeper for 2 years, do you agree?" Cheng Huan absolutely understood Zhao Yihan's abilities. During college, this woman was the president of the school's student union. In less than a year after graduation, she was able to become the sales director here, which shows that she is even more capable. He needs someone like this to do things for him now. Upon hearing this, Zhao Yihan's face turned cold. She didn't expect that Cheng Huan still wanted to ride on her head. "You want to be my boss?" Zhao Yihan looked at Cheng Huan with somewhat cold eyes. Cheng Huan glanced at Zhao Yihan, shrugged and smiled. 20 million in salary for 2 years, isn't that enough? Zhao Yihan pursed his lips and asked with some interest, "Do you really have the money to buy this villa?" Swoosh. Soon, Cheng Huan took out 3 bank cards from his pocket. One was an ICBC diamond card, one was an ICBC borderless black card, and one was a secondary card. Then he said, "There is 10 billion deposited on this ICBC diamond black card. The unlimited black card can be used to advance 2 billion, and the secondary card is 500 million. If you don't believe me, you can call ICBC right now and check. I'll tell you the password and identity information." Seeing these 3 cards, Zhao Yihan was tempted. If she wasn't tempted by such a thing, she would definitely be a fool. In order to verify the authenticity, she actually called ICBC customer service to check. When Zhao Yihan heard the customer service lady actually report the amount of money in the bank account, she was stunned. She put down her phone, bit her lip, and finally said, "I need you to pay me 30 million first. When you pay the house price later, I can use my authority to give you a 97% discount." Anyone who can resist the temptation of money is not an ordinary warrior. She was a woman who loved money, so naturally she couldn't resist. "No problem." Cheng Huan nodded and took out his phone and said, "Tell me your card number and I'll transfer the money to you using mobile banking now." Zhao Yihan hesitated for a moment, then took out a bank card from her bag and handed it to Cheng Huan. After taking Zhao Yihan's bank card, Cheng Huan's lips curled up. Money really is omnipotent. Anything that can be solved with money is not a problem. Chapter 9: A Variety of Goods. Not long after, Zhao Yihan received a text message reminding him that 30 million yuan had been deposited into his bank account. Seeing that she actually received 30 million in deposits, Zhao Yihan's pretty face was almost distorted with excitement. Before, she never dreamed that she would have so much money in her life. After calming down, Zhao Yihan looked at Cheng Huan curiously and asked, "Can you tell me why you are so rich now?" Cheng Huan chuckled, "Because I'm a super rich second generation, unexpected, right? You are really good at hiding it." Zhao Yihan nodded slightly. This was indeed unexpected. He chuckled and said, "If you had revealed your identity earlier, you might have won her heart. Why would you have pursued Nanxi for 4 years?" Cheng Huan smiled bitterly. He wanted to say, "I became rich only because I gave up pursuing Nanxi, okay?" After a while, Cheng Huan said to Zhao Yihan, "After you finish the formalities, you can live here directly. I won't come back often for the time being." As he spoke, he handed the Wujie secondary card to Zhao Yihan and said, "This secondary card will be given to you for safekeeping. Use it to pay for the daily expenses of the villa. Decorate it like a home and get the best of everything. Although the villa has been renovated, but many things still need to be purchased by the owners themselves. Do you expect them to prepare toilet paper for you?" "Okay." Zhao Yihan nodded, and then said, "I want to find a few helpers." She couldn't take care of such a big villa by herself, so she had to find some help. Cheng Huan nodded and said, "From now on, this villa will be left to you to take care of. I only have one request, which is to be able to enjoy the most comfortable living environment when I come back to live here." Zhao Yihan nodded and said, "In the future, I will definitely let you live in an extremely warm environment and be a superior little prince." Cheng Huan smiled and said, "Let's go back and handle the formalities." More than 10 minutes later, Cheng Huan and Zhao Yihan returned to the sales center. After bringing Cheng Huan to the VIP room, Zhao Yihan asked for his ID card and said, "Sit here for a while. I'll prepare a contract for you." "Go ahead." Cheng Huan nodded and started playing with his phone. On WeChat, Li Ergu sent him a message, "Huan Huan, I heard that your confession failed again this afternoon." Li Ergu, whose real name is Li Liang, is from Yangjing. Because he was the second child in the dormitory and was thin with a long face, he was named Li Ergu. Cheng Huan is a few days older than all of them, so he is the eldest. Li Ergu is the only capitalist among the 4 people in Cheng Huan's dormitory. More than a decade ago, when Li Ergu was still young, his family's 150 square meter courtyard house within the second ring road was relocated. They exchanged it for 3 3-bedroom apartments on the edge of the third ring road and a lot of money. Later, this guy's parents made a bold decision to rent out all 3 houses and move to the urban rural fringe with his grandparents and their family of 5 and bought a house to live in. From then on, the whole family became Yang Bai Lao and lived a life of collecting rent. Unexpectedly, several years later, the urban rural fringe area was developed on a large scale and turned into the 5th ring road. His family made a fortune again. This is definitely a winner in life. In the second semester of their senior year, the other 2 people in the room finished their graduation thesis and went back to their hometown to find jobs in companies. Only he and Li Ergu still held their positions and did not fall. Of course, Li Ergu, who studied social sports guidance and management, had already been hired by a large state-owned enterprise in Yangjing. As soon as I graduate, I can go back to Yangjing and start working directly. Cheng Huan had missed 2 opportunities to try out for professional teams, and now no one wants him. If there was no hotel provided by the system, he would have to return to his hometown Dongjiang City and find a job on his own. Cheng Huan replied, "You are not very good at what you said. Have you ever seen me succeed?" Bite. After a while, Li Ergu replied, "Where have you been this afternoon?" Cheng Huan, beach. Li Ergu, are you going to commit suicide? Cheng Huan, it's not that bad yet. Li Ergu, how about I buy some wine and food tonight to celebrate your 999th failure? Cheng Huan, okay, the old rules, you prepare the food and I'll prepare the wine. Li Ergu, okay, I'll go get ready, come back early. Not long after, Zhao Yihan walked in with a stack of subcontracts and a wireless POS machine. Next, Cheng Huan signed and swiped his credit card to pay 970 million yuan. Now, this villa completely belongs to him. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the task. The godly rich points have been issued, and the system mall has been opened. The system mall will refresh the page every half a month, and 12 different products will appear each time, and there must be 1 product on sale. The host can participate in the lottery in the mall, and each draw requires 100 million Shenhao points. There is an 85% chance that the lucky draw will be a thank you for your patronage, a 10% chance that you will win a different amount of super rich value, and a 5% chance that you will win a product that has not been purchased in this mall. Cheng Huan secretly looked at the system mall and found that the 12 products in it were: Super Plane, 5 billion worth of wealth. Basketball King Card, 100 million worth of money. 99-year exploitation rights for 100 Qatar oil wells, a fortune worth 150 billion. Fighting Card, 100 million worth of gold. 51% of the shares of French domain Romanet Conti, worth 30 billion. 1 super investment card 10x plus return rate, 3 billion super rich value. 51% of the shares of European Viver Model Agency, worth 28 billion. Rejuvenating cream formula, worth 1 billion. King of Songs card including copyrights of 10 classic songs, 200 million rich points. 51% of Chanel Group S shares, today's special price worth 1 billion. A set of RU Kill tea sets from the Song dynasty, worth 500 million yuan. 51% of Monaco Beach Resort Hotel Group, worth 55 billion. Seeing this, Cheng Huan was a little confused. The goods in this system store are really diverse and cover a wide range, even including oil fields. Wow. The next second, Cheng Huan got excited and directly bought the shares of Chanel. After all, it says today's special price. Although Chanel is not listed yet. But some people estimate that their market value is at least 50 billion euros, which is at least equivalent to 350 billion renminbi. He spent 1 billion in wealth to buy 51% of the shares, which is worth at least 175 billion renminbi. This is definitely a big bargain. Ding, 51% of Chanel's shares have been registered. Their host is now Chanel's largest shareholder, with veto power and the right to appoint the CEO. Upon hearing this, Cheng Huan couldn't help but laugh out loud. From now on, his net worth will definitely be on the list of the world's richest people. Why are you laughing? Hearing Cheng Huan's sudden strange laughter, Zhao Yihan looked up at him with a puzzled expression. It's okay. Cheng Huan shook his head. I just remembered what you said to me before, and now I can't help but laugh. Zhao Yihan frowned. What did I say? Cheng Huan shrugged and smiled. You let me covet your body. Don't ever mention this again. Zhao Yihan pouted at Cheng Huan, then lowered her head and started working again. Watching her busy at work, Cheng Huan thought to himself, how nice it would be if she had never been married. Maybe I will have a love affair with her. It doesn't matter even if she is a little snobbish. After all, almost all people are snobbish. However, he can accept second-hand products. I can't accept a second marriage. Second marriage and second-hand are two different things. Chapter 10. I don't want to hear anything. More than half an hour later, Zhao Yihan sorted out the house sale contract and returned Cheng Huan's ID card to him. She said, I'm going to ask the accountant to print the invoice and stamp the contract. Please wait here for a while. When I'm done, we can go out for dinner together in the evening. Cheng Huan looked at the time and found that it was almost 6 o'clock. He stood up and said, I've already made an appointment with my roommate to go back for drinks tonight, so let's have our meal later. Take these house purchase documents and ID card first, and help me get the house certificate tomorrow. Zhao Yihan smiled and asked, Are you going back to drink alone? Cheng Huan pouted nonchalantly, I am in high spirits right now, how could I possibly drink alone? Zhao Yihan asked again, Do you want me to help you pursue Nanxi? We have always been in contact. She was testing Cheng Huan. I want to know if Cheng Huan has really given up. If so, she'll go on the offensive. This is a big piece of fat meat. How could she, an old cat, let go so easily? Cheng Huan shook his head, I have really decided to give up. After 4 years of love, are you really going to let go just like that? Zhao Yihan was secretly delighted, but still didn't quite believe what Cheng Huan said. Seeing that Zhao Yihan still didn't believe it, Cheng Huan rolled his eyes and said, You can get married and divorced quickly, so why can't I give up completely? If Butcher Jing dies, will I have to eat hairy pigs from now on? Zhao Yihan pouted and said, I don't love him at all. It's only a matter of time before I divorce him. Cheng Huan also shook his head and said, Nanxi doesn't love me in her heart, so it's useless even if you want to help me. What if? Zhao Yihan asked. Nothing will happen. Cheng Huan quickly shook his head. Then he chuckled and said, Didn't you tell me before that a man has to be rich to be qualified to think about beautiful women? I think you're wrong in saying this. A man like me who is worth hundreds of billions of dollars doesn't need to think about a beautiful woman like you. It should be those beautiful women who are thinking about me instead. Zhao Yihan was completely stunned when he heard Cheng Huan blurt out that he was worth hundreds of billions. How much money do you have? Zhao Yihan asked with a frown. She has always been curious about this question. She wanted to ask when she was in the villa. But I didn't have the courage to speak out. Now I finally found the opportunity to ask. Cheng Huan thought about it and decided to tell Zhao Yihan about his wealth. Only by telling her can I make this woman work for me honestly in the future and not play any tricks on me. He said, Do you know Chanel? Zhao Yihan nodded heavily. This is a world-renowned luxury brand, of course I know it. Cheng Huan said, I am the largest shareholder of Chanel, owning 51% of the shares, which can be exchanged for at least 180 billion renminbi. In an instant, Zhao Yihan could no longer hold back. She said excitedly, Cheng Huan, you are really good at hiding your wealth. You don't show off your wealth. If I had known you were so rich, I would have definitely pursued you. Cheng Huan chuckled and said, Are you beginning to crave my body now? He returned exactly what Zhao Yihan had said to him before. Zhao Yihan opened his mouth and took a bite, then said with a smile, I'm greedy. I want to swallow it in one bite. Then just indulge in it first. Cheng Huan patted Zhao Yihan's round buttocks with a chuckle and said, I should go now, you continue to be busy. This slap was not frivolous, but a relief. It also resolved the resentment between the two. I send you. Zhao Yihan blushed and rubbed her butt, then followed Cheng Huan out of the reception room. When leaving, Cheng Huan said to Zhao Yihan, Don't tell anyone about my affairs, including Nanxi. Zhao Yihan smiled and nodded, Got it. She wouldn't be stupid enough to publicize Cheng Huan's wealth. You have to keep this piece of fat meat for yourself for a while. When I got back to school, it was already 6:30 in the afternoon. In order not to cause a sensation, he put the Hongqi supercar into the system warehouse in a hidden place. When passing by the school supermarket, he went in and bought 2 bottles of Langzhou. He wanted to buy Maotai, but there was none. When many students saw him, they all smiled sympathetically. Jingang University, a 985 and 211 double first-class key university, has a total of 5 campuses. There are more than 20,000 students in the school. Among these students, there is no one who can persist in pursuing another girl 999 times. Cheng Huan was a pioneer. This requires not only great perseverance, but also thick skin. On their way to the cashier, Cheng Huan saw the mixed-race female classmate and another long-haired beauty with an oval face. The mixed-race beauty is called Dong Rolan, and the oval-faced beauty is called Xiao Ya. They are not only classmates of Nanxi, but also live in the same dormitory. They are also goddesses in the eyes of many boys, with tall height, long legs and exquisite curves. There are few ugly dancers. Are you planning on getting drunk tonight to relieve your worries? Seeing Cheng Huan carrying 2 bottles of wine, Xiao Ya asked him jokingly. Cheng Huan smiled and shook his head, saying, I am only relieved now, not sad. This is the truth. The moment he decided to give up, he felt like he was reborn. What's more, after giving up, you will gain huge benefits. This wine should be a celebratory wine. Cheng Huan, I have good news and bad news. Which one do you want to hear first? Dong Roland said to Cheng Huan with a smile. In the past, she was Cheng Huan's accomplice. Cheng Huan curled his lips and asked, Is it about Nanxi? Right. Dong Roland nodded with a smile. Cheng Huan shook his head, I don't want to hear any of them. Since you have decided to give up pursuing Nanxi, there is no need to care about her affairs anymore. I will never bother her again for the rest of my life. Kindness. Dong Roland and Xiao Ya were quite surprised to hear Cheng Huan's answer. How could this man be so ruthless when he turned against me? Is this a lung injury? You really don't want to listen. Dong Roland tilted her head and looked at Cheng Huan in disbelief. Cheng Huan nodded, yes. Xiao Ya asked, Don't you love her anymore? No more. Cheng Huan shook his head firmly. Dong Roland pouted and said, Your eyes are full of sadness, which means you are lying. Cheng Huan laughed and said to Dong Roland, What did you buy? I'll help you check out. Sanitary napkins, do you want to help with the check? Dong Roland smiled and handed out several bags of sanitary napkins in her hand. Cheng Huan frowned, then tilted his neck and said, I will only buy this for my girlfriend, you should go and pay for it yourself. Dong Roland continued to laugh and said, If I tell you that there are also things for Nanxi here, will you buy some for her? Cheng Huan still shook his head and said, She is not my girlfriend either. 220 in total. At this time, the cashier scanned the barcodes on the 2 wine boxes of Cheng Huan and said to him. Cheng Huan took out his mobile phone and scanned the WeChat payment in the supermarket. After paying the money, he said to Dong Roland and Xiao Ya, I'm leaving first. Hey, wait for us, I haven't finished speaking yet. Seeing Cheng Huan leaving, Dong Roland also shouted from behind. That's enough. Cheng Huan did not stop. He raised his hand and left the supermarket in big strides. He is now calm and composed. Chapter 11 Can you still believe what women say? When Cheng Huan returned to the dormitory, he saw Li Ergu sitting on the bed playing with his mobile phone, while his girlfriend Shen Sisi was busy preparing dinner. Shen Sisi is a sophomore in the College of Arts. Although her looks weren't as pretty as Nanxi's, they weren't bad either. Although Li Ergu is thin and has a long face, he is lucky. The monthly living expenses are at least 10,000 gold coins. In college, if you have money you get girls. Cheng Huan's hometown is Dongjiang City, a 4th-tier small city in Dongning Province. His father is a physical education teacher in a high school. My mother opened a small supermarket in the community. The family's financial situation is pretty good. Therefore, Cheng Huan also has 5,000 yuan of living expenses every month. After all, he is a sports person and needs some nutritional supplements on a regular basis. Since Cheng Huan had been pursuing Nanxi throughout college, he saved a lot of money. You know, dating in college is really expensive. There is no such thing as freeloading in this world. There was an induction cooker on the table in the room, and the water in the pot had already boiled. Nearby was a box of mutton, some vegetables, some fish tofu, and crab meatballs. There was also a Yangjing roast duck that Li Ergu had always been reluctant to take out. Damn, this must be because it's about to expire. Otherwise he could have kept it going for a few more days. Seeing Cheng Huan coming back, Li Ergu put down his phone and stood up happily and said, I thought you would be upset and planned to jump into the sea tonight. Cheng Huan rolled his eyes at him and said, Don't worry, if I go to jump into the sea, I will definitely take you with me, otherwise it will be so lonely on the road to the underworld. The two are best friends. I can't sleep if we don't say a few insults to each other every day. At this time, Shen Sisi, who was nearby, said to Cheng Huan, Huan, you are a school hunk with good looks and talents, why do you have to rely on her for your life? This kind of thing seems a little unreasonable to these girls. As soon as Shen Sisi finished speaking, Li Ergu chimed in, you're so boring. There are so many crooked trees in the forest. Who knows, there might be one that's right for you. As a good brother, Li Ergu has no idea how many times he has tried to persuade him. But every time I came back with no success. Cheng Huan's love is too persistent. Hearing what the two said, Cheng Huan smiled. After he placed 2 bottles of Langjiu on the table, he sat down and said, after my confession failed this afternoon, I have already made up my mind to give up and bravely venture into the Black Forest from now on. Li Ergu was overjoyed after hearing this. Even if Cheng Huan hits the wall and turns back, he is still a prodigal son who has returned. He then sat down and said, you are right. I can guarantee that once you bravely enter the Black Forest, those tall and short, thick and thin, straight and crooked, will all open their arms and embrace you. By the way, Aunt Lin Xiao Xiao, Zhang Yanran, my Yuting and the others all waiting for you to return to your rightful place. Before we graduate, hurry up and get one. When Cheng Huan heard Li Ergu mention these people, he became even more angry. He opened a bottle of wine, poured a glass for Li Ergu, and then said angrily, these women are all not keeping their promises. They swore to me that they would love me forever. But when I wanted to date them in the afternoon, they all said they were busy and needed to be with their boyfriends. Tell me, can we still trust what this woman says? Har. Li Ergu picked it up and laughed. The long face became even longer. Why don't you examine yourself? Shen Sisi rolled her eyes at Cheng Huan. Don't like to listen to him. After she sat down, she continued, you have been chasing Nanxu all this time, and you want Xiao Xiao and the others to wait for you. Lin Xiao Xiao and the others are from the same department as Shen Sisi. It was Shen Sisi who introduced him to Cheng Huan. That is. Li Ergu followed up with another teasing sentence, do you think you are a love saint? Cheng Huan poured himself a glass of white wine and said, other people follow their husbands, but you follow your husbands before you even get married. You are just a woman. Li Ergu tore off a large duck leg and placed it in front of Shen Sisi, saying, this is what I call the dedication of love. You, a little kid who has never been in love, don't understand shit. Shen Sisi smiled happily and said to Cheng Huan, give me one too. This girl is from Northern Ontario and is definitely a generous drinker. Anyway, if they really start drinking, Cheng Huan's alcohol tolerance of 1 pound of alcohol is hardly enough for her. After Cheng Huan poured Shen Sisi a glass, he raised the glass and said, come on, for the two of you staying by my side, I toast to you two and wish you two a long and happy life together. We also wish you to end your singleness soon. Shen Sisi said. Next, the three of them began to eat and drink. American Empire, 11 a.m. Inside a building in Manhattan, New York. 2 men who could be in their 50s got together. One is called Alan Wertheimer and the other is called Gerard Wertheimer. They are brothers and are currently the chairman and executive director of Chanel. Although Chanel's headquarters is in Paris, France, the brothers have always lived in New York. The second oldest brother, Gerard, who had a round face, said to the chubby eldest brother, Alan, in frustration, brother, I just heard that Frank and David sold their 30% of the group's shares to a Chinese youth named Cheng Huan. David and Frank, both his sons, each received a 15% stake. Bernard also sold his 21% stake. Alan smoked a big Cuban cigar worth $1,000 with a depressed look on his face. Bernard is his only son and the future leader of Chanel, but he also sold his shares. He wanted to vomit blood now. After hearing this, Gerard was furious and said, these 3 bastards, don't they know that selling these shares will make our family company hand over to others? You know, they were afraid that Chanel would be taken away by outsiders, so they not only rejected many huge acquisitions from LVMH Group, but also did not go public. Now, outsiders have easily taken control of 51% of Chanel's shares. This is just horrible. After the two were silent for a while, Gerard asked again, "Brother, what should we do now? Do we need to go to Huaxia in person to meet this Cheng Huan? After all, he is now the largest shareholder of the group and has the right to veto and appoint the CEO, which is very disadvantageous to us. What they are most worried about now is whether they will be kicked out of the company's board of directors by Cheng Huan, and then replaced by the CEO Mullen Kate they appointed. If that happens, the two of them will only be spectators in the entire Chanel group and will have no rights at all. After all, this is the company founded by their great-grandfather, and it cannot be destroyed in their hands." Alan put down his big cigar and said, "Call Mullen Kate later and ask her to go to China from Paris today to meet Cheng Huan and find out what this guy's intentions are before making a decision. If he just wants to be a major shareholder who doesn't care about anything, we don't have to worry too much. If he wants to kick us all off the board and take control of the company, then we have no choice but to fight back." "Good." Gerard nodded and also held up his phone to make a call. "This is a big deal and cannot be delayed. Chapter 12 from now on, he will support you, and you will support me." The next morning, Cheng Huan opened his eyes and rubbed his swollen head. The three of them drank until midnight last night. He drank a bottle each and became completely drunk. I took out my cell phone and checked the time. It was already 6:30. He sat up and looked at Li Ergu on the bed opposite, who was still sleeping soundly with his arms around Shenxisi. Shenxisi's snow-white arms stretched out from the quilt and rested on Li Ergu's body. Li Ergu's big hairy legs were directly placed on the quilt. "There's a pile of papers on the ground. Damn it. This pair of bastards took advantage of him being drunk and did something bad again last night." However, Cheng Huan has gotten used to it. After getting up, he tidied up the room. I opened the window and smelled the mutton, roast duck and white wine that filled the house. Then he went downstairs to the school playground for a morning run. There are many people jogging in pairs on the playground in the morning. Some people who knew Cheng Huan also waved and greeted him. Not long after, a girl wearing tight body-shaping clothes caught up with Cheng Huan and started jogging with him in the morning. Cheng Huan turned his head and saw that it was Mai Yuting. This girl's figure is really well developed. The bulge in front of the body is jaw-dropping. Cheng Huan was afraid that she would not be able to bear the running and would fall down. The only drawback is that the skin is a bit dark. Otherwise, she would be a school beauty. "Morning." Mai Yuting greeted Cheng Huan with a smile. "Morning." Cheng Huan also responded and continued running forward. "Why are you ignoring me?" Seeing that Cheng Huan stopped talking, Mai Yuting asked. Even though Cheng Huan had always pursued Nanxi before, he had never been so cold to her. As Cheng Huan ran, he smiled and asked her, "Who won the game yesterday evening?" Mai Yuting pouted and said, "Team Hangwa scored 2 goals in the first half. I'm so pissed off." Cheng Huan smiled and said, "Cherish life and stay away from football." After running for a while, Mai Yuting said, "Cheng Huan, please teach me how to play basketball this afternoon. Football is boring. No time." Cheng Huan refused directly. "I wanted to teach her yesterday, but she said she was watching football with others. Now that football is not interesting anymore, I want to go back to learning basketball. How can there be so many good things in the world?" Upon hearing this, Mai Yuting pouted and said, "Didn't you say yesterday that you wanted to teach me?" "That was yesterday." "Why not today?" "Because you rejected me yesterday." After Cheng Huan finished speaking, he also quickened his pace, leaving Mai Yuting far behind. Snort. Looking at Cheng Huan's back, Mai Yuting also snorted angrily. After running a few laps on the playground, Cheng Huan went to the cafeteria to have breakfast. On their way back, Cheng Huan saw that the flower shop on campus was crowded with customers early in the morning. Countless bootlickers came out with smiles on their faces, holding bouquets of roses. He came early in the morning to buy flowers to show his courtesy, and he really put in a lot of effort. It seems that the business of major hotels will be outrageously good again tonight. In short, today, I will fuck a lot of boys. Whether in your pocket or on your body. When they returned to the dormitory, Li Ergu and Shenxisi were both up. One was sitting by the bed smoking and playing games, and the other was sitting at the desk putting on makeup. "Give me one." Cheng Huan walked up to Li Ergu and asked for a cigarette and started smoking. What's the matter? What kind of stimulation did you get outside? Seeing Cheng Huan, who rarely smoked, also started smoking, Li Ergu smiled at him. Cheng Huan rolled his eyes at Li Ergu and said, "Today is 520, aren't you going to buy Cici a bunch of flowers and take her out for a romantic day?" Hearing Cheng Huan's words, Shen Cici said nearby, "Forget it, his pockets are cleaner than his face now, and the food he ate last night was bought by me." Cheng Huan looked at Li Ergu and asked, "It's not the end of the month yet, where's your money? This guy has 10,000 yuan a month for living expenses. Today is only the 20th, how come it's gone so soon?" Li Ergu smiled awkwardly and did not explain. However, Shen Cici on the side did not tolerate his bad habits and said, "All donated to the game." After hearing this, Cheng Huan really wanted to kick Li Ergu. He said with disdain, "The mansion of Tony Ma's family was donated by you people, and the secretaries around Penguin executives were also hired by you people with your fundraising. Cheng Huan never plays games. No matter how fun it is, I won't play it. This is a rubbish game that cheated me out of money and ruined my youth." Li Ergu cursed loudly, picked up his phone and started playing again. "There's nothing I can do. I just don't have the face to do it." Cheng Huan put out his cigarette and turned to ask Shen Cici, "Cici, what gift do you want? I'll buy it for you." They have a good relationship. Money is definitely something outside of one's body. It is very common that you spend my money and I spend yours. Only those who have experienced this kind of friendship can empathize. Shen Cici turned her head to look at Cheng Huan and pouted, "This guy promised to buy me a pair of platinum earrings today. But now he has no money left and can't buy them." After Cheng Huan glared at the snickering Li Ergu, he took out his phone and sent 20,000 yuan to Shen Cici's WeChat, saying, "Go buy yourself a bigger pair." He wants to send more. But I don't want to scare Shen Cici directly. Holy crap, the new Huawei foldable, where did you get the money to buy it? Li Ergu was surprised to see Cheng Huan holding Huawei Mate X2. This phone costs less than 20,000 yuan. Cheng Huan said, "Someone gave it to me." Li Ergu was stunned, unable to figure out who would give Cheng Huan such a high-end mobile phone. Rich woman. Right. Cheng Huan smiled and nodded. Li Ergu asked with a sly smile, "Anything else? Introduce one to me." "You can't." Cheng Huan shook his head with disdain and chuckled. Li Ergu angrily said, "You bastard, do you know that you shouldn't hit someone in the face, and you shouldn't expose someone's shortcomings when you scold them?" These words also made Shen Cici, who was nearby, chuckle. She was deeply touched. Has the most say. "Cheng Huan, why are you giving me so much money?" After a while, Shen Cici finished her makeup and saw the 20,000 yuan transferred to her mobile phone. She looked at Cheng Huan in surprise. Cheng Huan laughed and said, "I think your boyfriend is unreliable and useless. I will support you from now on." "I think so." Shen Cici followed with laughter. You two dogs, are you so blatant now?" Li Ergu cursed at the two of them. Then he asked Shen Cici, "How much did this thing give you?" 20,000. Shen Cici said. "It seems that this guy is really being kept by a rich woman." Li Ergu smiled frivolously, then waved his hand and said, "Keep it. From now on, he will support you and you will support me." Cheng Huan rolled his eyes, "From now on, you call me daddy every day, and I will raise you as well." Chapter 13. This basketball king card is really awesome. Half an hour later, Li Ergu took Shen Cici, who had skipped class, away. Cheng Huan had nothing to do, so he changed into his jersey and went to the gym to start training. He hasn't come here to train for several days. Most of my classmates have been selected by professional teams and are training in the club. The remaining students with lower levels of ability all obtained the teaching certificate and went to some schools for internship. Although Cheng Huan also passed the teacher qualification exam, he did not go for an internship. You know the reason. Senior. When some younger classmates saw Cheng Huan coming, they all greeted him respectfully. "Cheng Huan, take a three-pointer." When classmate Zhang Jun saw Cheng Huan coming, he directly threw the basketball in his hand to him. This guy is 1.98 meters tall and weighs 101 kilograms. He and Cheng Huan both play the number 2 position in the school team. But he is Cheng Huan's substitute. Years ago, He replaced Cheng Huan and went to the CBA's Flying Leopards team for a trial training for more than 2 months and was accepted into the second team. Now I just have to wait for graduation and then I can report to the team. Seeing the flying basketball, Cheng Huan caught the ball with one hand. However, this time he failed to perform to his full potential and was unable to catch the ball thrown by Zhang Jun. Get rid of it. Depend on. Only then did Cheng Huan remember all the basketball skills he had learned before, and all of them were gone along with the confession system. After picking up the basketball, he threw it directly towards the basket. But it didn't go in. Then, Cheng Huan shot a few more times, but the ball still hit the rim. You failed in love, and you're not good on the court either, har ha har har. Seeing Cheng Huan's current ball skills, Zhang Jun just laughed out loud. He has always been resentful that Cheng Huan is the star of the school team. Today, I finally found an opportunity to tease Cheng Huan. Hearing this laughter, Cheng Huan curled his lips and said, "Come on, let's have a bullfight." "Come on, who's afraid of who?" Zhang Jun said without fear. In the past, when the two of them played 1v1 bullfighting, he lost more than he won. Cheng Huan's level is so poor now. In addition, he trained with the professional team for more than 2 months and learned a lot. I'm afraid there will be a turnaround today. So he simply bent down and opened his arms in a defensive posture. After Cheng Huan dribbled the ball a few times, something embarrassing happened. He actually kicked his leg while dribbling between his legs. This would have been absolutely impossible in the past. Bang! Taking advantage of this opportunity, Zhang Jun knocked the ball out of his hand with one hand, then turned around to look at the moon and threw the basketball into the basket. Then, Cheng Huan took over the defense and Zhang Jun attacked. After just a few moves, he was easily shaken off by Zhang Jun. Then Zhang Jun pushed him with his butt, causing him to stagger, and he was easily dunked by the opponent with a 3-step layup. Good. Some younger classmates shouted loudly and cheered for Zhang Jun. After beating Cheng Huan, Zhang Jun became complacent and sneered, "Cheng Huan, your current basketball skills are not even as good as those of high school students." Cheng Huan curled his lips and said, "You beat me once, are you really so proud of yourself?" Zhang Jun laughed and said, "Then let's do it again." Next, the two continued the 1v1 bullfight. But Cheng Huan's level is really too bad. I was simply being fooled by Zhang Jun. No more playing. I'm not in the right shape today. After losing 2 more games, Cheng Huan waved to Zhang Jun and walked to the bench at the side of the court and sat down. He now regrets coming to the gym and embarrassing himself. It doesn't matter. When you get back into shape, we can play a few more games. There's still some time before graduation anyway, said Zhang Jun. Cheng Huan took a sip of water and said, "It seems that you have gained a lot from the 2 months of training with the professional team." Of course. Zhang Jun said proudly, training with a group of top domestic players every day, and with the guidance of a former national team coach, my skills will definitely improve rapidly. Otherwise, I would not have been able to be signed and stay. Cheng Huan smiled. Suddenly, he remembered that he had a Super Basketball King card in his system mall. System, is this Super Basketball King card a basketball skill? Ding can make the host the king of the court, the strongest in history. After listening to this, Cheng Huan became completely excited. Directly clicked to purchase the Super Basketball King card for use. Then, he took the basketball from Zhang Jun's hand and threw it out with one hand. Swish! Soon, the basketball drew a perfect parabola in the air and fell into the basket accurately. Hollow. This move stunned everyone. You know, Cheng Huan is standing outside the court now, shooting a super long 3-pointer. Zhang Jun secretly complained, "Is this guy back to normal?" At this moment, Cheng Huan was also shocked. You know, he just made the shot at will. It really went in. Come on, let's play 2 more games. I feel like I'm back in form. After a while, Cheng Huan pulled Zhang Jun and started a 1v1 bullfight with him again. Facing Zhang Jun's defense again, Cheng Huan looked relaxed and kept dribbling the ball with both hands. Then, he made a triple threat move, easily dribbled past Zhang Jun, dribbled to the free throw line, grabbed the ball with one hand, jumped, and slammed it. Juan? The ball went in. This goal once again stunned everyone in the stadium. You should know that Cheng Huan is only 1.92 meters tall, the height of the basket is 3.05 meters, and the distance from the free throw line to the basket is 4.225 meters. I have to say, his jumping ability is simply amazing. Oh my god, this is so cool. Many people exclaimed directly. Unbelievable. Come on, let's play half court. Cheng Huan greeted the people here. Now, he also wants to take a good look at what the state of this super basketball king will be like when he is playing the game. Next, Cheng Huan brought a few younger schoolmates, and Zhang Jun brought another group of people to start the competition. Physical education teacher Sun Guidong acted as their referee. As a shooting guard, Cheng Huan showed his superb scoring ability from the very beginning. He cleverly dodged one opponent after another and made a few three-step layups, tomahawk slam dunks, and three-point shots from time to time. In one quarter, Cheng Huan made 8 three-pointers, blocked for shots, dunked 3 times, stole 6 times, and got 7 rebounds. He even had an aerial relay and a two-handed dunk. He scored a total of 42 points in a single quarter. This data is unmatched. Zhang Jun's team only scored 8 points in total. In the end, that team said they didn't want to play anymore. It's so embarrassing. When everyone sat down to rest, the physical education teacher said to Cheng Huan, "I have to suggest to the school that you be directly admitted as a graduate student and lead our school team to compete in Cuba next semester." Cheng Huan smiled. It is not easy to directly recruit graduate students. A junior student said to Cheng Huan, "Senior, your current basketball skills will not only make you invincible in the CBA, but even in the NBA, you will be invincible. Curry's three-point shot is not as accurate as yours." Another junior said, "The senior's tomahawk dunk is definitely comparable to James." Hearing their words, Cheng Huan felt secretly proud. This basketball king card is really awesome. Cheng Huan, you really shouldn't have rejected the Flying Leopard's invitation to try out. With your skills, you should be able to show them off on the court. Zhang Jun finally said, convinced. Cheng Huan smiled at him and said, "There will be opportunities in the future." Now, as long as Cheng Huan is willing, he can acquire a CBA team. Even NBA teams are no problem. It's only a matter of time before you get on the field and compete. Chapter 14: Songs that touch people's hearts. After playing in the gym for a morning, Cheng Huan also received a call from Li Ergu. "What?" he asked. Li Ergu laughed and said, "Cici said that on this wonderful day, she wanted to call you out to spend some time together as a threesome." Cheng Huan joked, "That's fine with me. Do you agree?" Li Ergu cursed, "I agree with your uncle. I asked you to come out for dinner. Do you think I asked you to come out for sleep?" Cheng Huan laughed a few times, "That's exactly what I thought. Get lost." Li Ergu cursed and asked, "Are you coming or not? What's the point if not sleeping?" "I won't go." "Then just hang out with the school. Cici and I will go eat lobster and abalone. It's your treat anyway. Your living expenses for next month have arrived, return the money to me quickly." Li Ergu chuckled and said, "Goodbye." Hearing the beeping sound, Cheng Huan rolled his eyes in anger. Not long after, Cheng Huan and his friends took a cold shower in the gym and went to the school cafeteria to eat with 3 younger classmates. However, as soon as they came out, they heard the school radio playing "I Like You So Much" on a loop. "I like you so much, woo-woo tilder. Love you, woo-woo tilder. You are God's gift to me. I like your confusion. Be willful and cool. We don't want to end once we're together." Zhang Qiang said, "Damn it, playing this kind of song on 520, what will we singles think?" Liu Lei asked, "Are you trying to stir up public anger?" Wang Yuanshan said, "The people in the radio station really don't follow the rules of martial arts. They are also in a cycle." After hearing the song, the 3 younger students all started cursing loudly. Cheng Huan laughed and said, "Let's go to the radio station and replace all these love songs with "My Motherland and I." When the 3 younger students heard this, they all laughed and nodded in agreement. Ding, trigger the mission, buy the Super Singer card, and then go to the campus radio station to sing a song, "A Dream That Can't Awaken." After completing the mission, their host will be rewarded with 1 billion renminbi. After hearing this, Cheng Huan clicked on the Super Singer card without hesitation. Spend 200 million to give away 1 billion, and still make 800 million. Anyone who doesn't do it is a fool. All of a sudden, countless music theory knowledge and singing techniques flooded into Cheng Huan's mind. Of course, there are also those 10 classic songs, 8 Chinese songs and 2 English songs. A few minutes later, Cheng Huan and 3 of his junior classmates walked into the campus radio station. The 2 female students from the broadcasting department who were in charge of the broadcasting saw Cheng Huan and his friends coming, and they all asked with a smile, "Do you want to use the radio to confess your love to your sweetheart?" Confession is bullshit. Zhang Qiang rolled his eyes at them both and said, "We are here to ask you to change the song." A girl with short hair said with a smile, "This song is so beautiful and sweet. We love listening to it. Our mouths are pouting, har har." Wang Yuanshun curled his lips and said, "Now, the majority of people left in school are singles. Can you two be a little more kind-hearted?" "Yeah, I overlooked that." The other girl with tiger teeth exclaimed in surprise. Liu Lei said with a smile, "You will play My Motherland and I on loop in a while. Today should be the day for us to express our love to our motherland and thank our motherland." At this time, Cheng Huan took down a guitar from a nearby wall. After adjusting the tune, he said, "I'll sing a song for all the singles in the school later. Do you want to sing My Motherland and I?" The short-haired girl asked with a smile. Cheng Huan's singing skills are quite good and he has performed on stage in several school performances. "No, it's a new song I wrote called A Dream That Can't Awaken," Cheng Huan said. "Senior, please sing for us first," said the girl with tiger teeth. Cheng Huan nodded and started to play and sing here. Not long after, when the 2 girls finished listening to Cheng Huan singing the song, they looked at him with tears on their faces. The 3 younger students were also stunned. This guy is both civil and military. Not only does he play basketball terribly, the songs he wrote are so touching. Incredible. The girl with tiger teeth asked Cheng Huan, "Senior, is this song written for Nanxi?" Cheng Huan chuckled and shook his head. This was given to him by the system, and who knows who it was written for. Anyway, he spent 200 million worth of wealth to buy it. After a while, the girl with tiger teeth turned on the microphone and stretched out her hand to signal Cheng Huan that he could start. Cheng Huan blew into the microphone and said, "Hello, students. I am Cheng Huan. Today is 520. I will sing a song for all the singles in the school. It is called A Dream That Can't Awaken. I hope the single students will like it." At this moment, many students were a little excited after hearing Cheng Huan's voice. Damn it, is Cheng Huan trying to save the country in a roundabout way? Very likely. This guy is so pitiful. He didn't give up after 999 times. This should be the 1000th time, right? Do you think he will go to girls' dormitory number 9 this afternoon? Today is 520, we must go. Girls' dormitory number 9, dormitory 1303. This is a beauty's nest. For beautiful girls from the art department live there. After hearing Cheng Huan's voice, Dong Roland said to Nanxi, who was sitting in front of the desk, "Nanxi, listen, it's Cheng Huan's voice." Nanxi nodded and said, "I heard it. I'm not deaf either." Another female classmate, Sun Xiamen, asked, "Nanxi, if Cheng Huan came to you to confess his love for the 1000th time this afternoon, would you agree?" Nanxi hesitated for a moment, but still shook her head. Some things are not as simple as others see. No one can really understand her difficulties. Can't say either. Xiao Ye said, "I think it takes 1001 times to be sincere, 1 in 1,000. As the 4 of them were talking, Cheng Huan's magical voice came over the campus radio. "You are the wind that I cannot touch. A dream that can't be awakened. Paradise that cannot be found. Unhealable pain. Unlit cigarette. Can't let go of hands. Unforgettable someone. If you don't have. Enter my life. Tell me all your love. I won't. In your arms. I thought love could last forever. If you don't have. Completely forget about me. Sometimes I think of me. Then my heart. Just torture me. Abandon everything and indulge yourself." Damn, Cheng Huan is such a genius. This song completely touched my heart. Woo, I'm reminded of my first love. Woo woo woo, me too. Soon, all the students in the school were moved by Cheng Huan's song and immersed in it. Many girls couldn't help but shed tears. The classic lyrics and music sung by Cheng Huan, coupled with his king-level voice and singing style, will definitely touch everyone who has a story in their heart. Even Nanxi and the other 4 were crying loudly in the room. Dong Roland couldn't stop crying and said, Nanshi, Cheng Huan deserves your love. Sun Xiaomin nodded continuously. Life is short and true love is hard to find. Let's put a perfect end to my college life. Xiao Ya sobbed and said, why can't I meet a boy like this, woo woo. Nanshi's heart was moved. A mysterious force shattered that hard heart. Chapter 15, the plot turns around, the school beauty confesses her love. After coming out of the campus radio station, Cheng Huan brought 3 younger schoolmates to the school's cafeteria number 5. As soon as he came in, Cheng Huan was met with the fanatical and admiring gazes of the girls in the cafeteria. Wang Yuanshan poked Cheng Huan and whispered, Senior, these female tyrannosaurus look like they want to eat you. Most of the students who eat in canteen number 5 are from the School of Physical Education. And the girls who practice sports are like female Tyrannosaurus rex. Black, strong and thick. Cheng Huan glanced around and then chuckled, don't you think I'm handsome? After hearing Cheng Huan's words, the 3 junior students all looked at each other in bewilderment. Handsome. The 3 nodded in praise. Although Cheng Huan's words contain some narcissistic elements. But there is no way to refute it. Really handsome. 4 people lined up to get food. Then they sat together and started eating. After a while, some female students simply walked near Cheng Huan. They squeezed away several boys who were eating opposite Cheng Huan and started to confess their love to Cheng Huan. Senior, I like you and I'm willing to spend the spring and summer with you. Senior, let's go on a date tonight, I'll pay for it. Senior, I don't need roses or bread, I just need your love. Forehead. This scene completely stunned the 3 younger schoolmates. These girls are so straightforward. Cheng Huan said to the girls calmly, I'm sorry, I already have someone in my heart. After saying that, he continued to eat voraciously. After playing ball for the whole morning, I'm really hungry. A girl said, didn't you announce yesterday that you had given up pursuing Nanshi? Who said that? At this time, before Cheng Huan could speak, a sharp voice came from nearby. It seems to belong to Dong Roland. Cheng Huan looked up. It really is her. Moreover, Nanshi, who was wearing an apricot yellow short-hem dress, was beside him. The 2 of them were walking towards Cheng Huan gracefully. At this moment, the huge dining hall was quiet. Thousands of eyes were looking towards them. Liu Lei beside him secretly asked Cheng Huan, Senior, could it be that the senior sister was moved by your song? Cheng Huan glanced at him and shook his head, I don't know, let's eat. Seeing Nanshi coming, the girls who were surrounding Cheng Huan to confess their love all moved away unwillingly. There is hatred in his eyes. Why come now, why didn't you come earlier or later? Hate. After a while, Dong Roland and Nanshi walked to Cheng Huan's side together. Dong Roland smiled at Cheng Huan with red eyes, revealing a row of small white teeth. This girl is also very charming when she smiles. Nanshi looked at Cheng Huan calmly. That face without makeup is still stunningly beautiful. The radiance of love has begun to surge in the red eyes. Cheng Huan, I want to talk to you. This was the first time in 4 years that she took the initiative to talk to Cheng Huan. And it was in a pleading tone. This surprised Cheng Huan slightly. This also made many people secretly wonder, what does she want to talk to Cheng Huan? Could it be that the ice goddess was melted by Cheng Huan's singing? Cheng Huan looked at Nanshi, and said in the same gentle voice as before, there is nothing more to talk about between us. As soon as these words were spoken, dozens of clang sounds were heard in the cafeteria. Someone was so surprised that he dropped his plate on the ground. Damn it. After being a bootlicker for 4 years, he is so tough today. Is this expansion? Or did I take the wrong medicine? Please, bro, stop pretending. If you keep pretending, it will be easy to lose. Have. Nanshiyu said in a shocking tone, I came to tell you that I accept your confession and I am willing to be your girlfriend. Wow. At this moment, there was an uproar in the cafeteria. Everyone couldn't believe what they saw. Who could have thought that the aloof school beauty would actually accept Cheng Huan's confession on 520? Damn, did I hear it wrong? Am I hallucinating? Hit me. Bang. Damn, it really hurts. I heard it right. Hearing Nanshi's words, Cheng Huan was stunned at first. Then he smiled at her and said, I'm sorry, I don't love you anymore. Damn. As soon as these words were spoken, it was like a bolt from the blue. shocking thousands of people in cafeteria number 5. Just now, what did Cheng Huan say? He said he doesn't love Nanxi anymore. I don't quite understand this plot. Oh, heaven and earth, can anyone explain to me what Cheng Huan is thinking? They would never understand why a man who could persist in courtship for 4 years would choose to quit at the end. What tricks is he using? Or, is his heart really broken? That's right. Cheng Huan's heart had indeed been broken by Nanxi. For years, 999 confessions. Rain or shine, never absent. What a sincere love this is. But does Nanxi know how to cherish it? Now that he had finally made up his mind to give up, Nanxi came to tell him that she agreed. What is this? No matter how long a story is, it will eventually come to an end. No matter how deep the love is, there will come a day when it becomes dull. At this moment, he gave up. Nanxi didn't expect Cheng Huan to refuse. There was a slight look of grievance on his face. Those beautiful big eyes became even redder. She opened her red lips slightly and said in a faint voice, Cheng Huan, I was too willful before and didn't value your feelings for me. I'm here to apologize to you, and I only ask you to forgive me once. Don't apologize. Facing Nanxi's apology, Cheng Huan quickly rejected it. I have the right to love you, and you also have the right to reject me. There is no right or wrong. Yesterday afternoon, I told you very clearly that I will leave you proudly and we will never bother each other again in this life. The end is the end. No fantasy. No surprises. And I will never look back. Love that has been trampled on 999 times has long been unrecognizable. To refuse is to preserve one's last bit of dignity. Even if there is still a little love in my heart. He also has to let himself go. After Cheng Huan finished speaking, Dong Roland said angrily, Cheng Huan, can you stop being so stubborn like a child? The huge cafeteria was extremely quiet, and everyone was looking at Cheng Huan. Wrong, Cheng Huan said coldly, I'm not being stubborn, but this is the wisest choice. For 4 years, I have lived in despair year after year, day after day. This despair is so desolate. Everyone knows that I learned to sing and dance, and to play the guitar and piano for Nanxi. But how many people know that when I was desperate, I also learned to smoke and drink? As he spoke, he also hammered his chest a few times. This is broken, it has been broken into 999 pieces, and I can't break one more piece. If I refuse now, I am choosing to let myself go. Boom. Cheng Huan's words were like an 18-pound hammer, hammering at Nanxi's heart again and again. She turned pale with pain. She bit her lips so hard that they were about to break without realizing it. Finally, her expression became firm, and she said, Since I broke your heart into 999 pieces, it is my responsibility to help you heal it. From today on, I will pursue you and heal your heart with my love. As soon as these words were spoken, the cafeteria with thousands of people was so quiet that you could hear a pin drop. Everyone was stunned. The ice goddess announced that she was pursuing Cheng Huan. These words are like Mars hitting the earth. Everyone was shocked. You can pursue me if you want, but I won't play with you anymore. After Cheng Huan said this helplessly, he walked straight through the crowd and left the cafeteria. There is no destined misfortune, only the persistence of never letting go. He really let go. What a pig! Dong Roland stomped her feet in anger. Let's go back. Nanxi said with a lonely look. I thought Cheng Huan would happily accept her confession, and then hug me and spin around 3 times in public. But I didn't expect that he would reject me coldly. But she warned herself that even if Cheng Huan was like this, she would never give up. After Cheng Huan and the others left one after another, the people in the cafeteria began to discuss. Damn, Cheng Huan really makes men proud. This plot twist is so twisted that my heart can't bear it. Cheng Huan is such a fool. He has been chasing her for 4 years but still failed. Now that the school beauty has accepted him, he actually refuses. What do you know? This is called playing hard to get. Even the art of war is used in a love affair. How profound. Chapter 16, It's not arrogance, it's courting death. After returning to the dormitory, Cheng Huan took out her Guzu's cigarettes and started smoking while lying on the bed. Now that you have decided to let go completely. There are many better flowers in the world, so why should you love only one flower? 999 confessions in 4 years have really exhausted all his enthusiasm. The days of being a bootlicker are completely gone. From now on, I will never be a bootlicker again. Love so and so. Ding-a-ling. My cell phone rang. I picked it up and saw that it was Wang Jingnan, the third oldest student in the dormitory. This guy is a Shanghai person who would rather eat rice with soy sauce than not dress himself up decently. And of pure bloodline. Back then, his parents wanted to have a sweet and caring little boy. Even though Wang Jingnan came into the world with guns and sticks, his parents' wishes did not change. So, we just gave him a girl's name, Jingnan. Finally, when Wang Jingnan was 14 years old, the two elders discovered that their sweet little boy was different from others. He showed signs of male puberty, his voice became hoarse, and a beard grew. Seeing that the male general was not able to do anything, the two elders were also helpless. We can't just send him to Thailand, can we? In the rest of my life, I had no choice but to let things take their own course. Wang Jingnan is a lazy person who doesn't know the difference between grains and is quite narcissistic. When Cheng Huan first entered college, his high school deskmate Jiang Shan sent him a WeChat message asking if he knew a handsome guy named Wang Jingnan in their school. Cheng Huan said that he knew a Wang Jingnan, but he didn't know a handsome guy named Wang Jingnan. Jiang Shan immediately sent Cheng Huan a photo and a screenshot of the WeChat chat. The photo is a photoshopped picture of Japanese movie star Kenichi Matsuyama. The screenshot of the conversation is as follows. Jiang Shan, are you really more handsome than Daniel Wu? More handsome than Daniel Wu, definitely. Jiang Shan, how handsome can he be? More handsome than Daniel Wu. Have you heard that there is a kind of man in this world who can use his face as a credit card to buy things? Jiang Shan, send me a photo. More handsome than Daniel Wu, photo.jpg. Jiang Shan, let us go on a date. More handsome than Daniel Wu, arrogant. After looking at the photos and screenshots of the conversation, Cheng Huan carefully observed Wang Jingnan nearby for about a minute. I have to say, his face does have unique features. The wrinkles on your body are thick, thin, and of varying densities, just like a barcode. After answering the phone, Wang Jingnan asked Cheng Huan, Huan, you are so awesome. You actually rejected Nanshi's confession in public. With the development of communication technology nowadays, it is not surprising that such things reached his ears. Cheng Huan laughed and said, she rejected me 999 times, so why can't I be a bit more arrogant? Wang Jingnan sneered, you are not arrogant, you are courting death. Seek death. Is it that serious? Cheng Huan didn't want to dwell on this matter, as he was feeling upset. He changed the subject and asked, let's not talk about me for now. Have you caught up with that girl recently? After returning to Shanghai, this guy went to work in a large communications equipment company and fell in love with a girl who was also interning at the company. Then borrowed their way. Cheng Huan confessed to Nanshi, once a day. When hearing this question, Wang Jingnan once again showed his unreliable nature. Yuxing said, don't mention it, the few tricks you taught me really work. The girl has already accepted my invitation to dinner tonight. Cheng Huan said with emotion, I have discovered now that as long as you persist, there is no position that cannot be conquered. Come on. Har har har. Wang Jingnan laughed a few times. Yes, even Nanshi, an icy beauty, can confess her love to you, which shows that your tricks are still very effective. After the two chatted nonsense on the phone for a few minutes, they hung up. Not long after, Cheng Huan's WeChat rang. I saw that Sun Xiamen and Xiao Ye sent me pictures of various pigs one after another. Cheng Huan was upset and deleted them both as a friend. Let you two flirt when you have nothing to do. Not long after, Cheng Huan's WeChat rang again. He took a look and this time it was a video invitation from his mother. Cheng Huan answered the call and asked, I'll post the video this afternoon. What's up? On the other side of the video, Cheng Huan's mother looked to be around 47 or 48 years old, but she was still quite pretty. Otherwise, it would be impossible to give birth to such a handsome son. She smiled and asked, Son, today is May 20th, why are you still lying in the dormitory? Aren't you going out on a date? Cheng Huan shook his head, your son is incompetent. He hasn't been able to find a girlfriend in 4 years and is still single. My mother asked, didn't you tell me that you've been pursuing a girl? You're almost graduating from college, and you still haven't found her. Cheng Huan curled his lips, can you please stop talking about things that are not related to the topic? If this is done, will your son still be lying here? The old lady smiled and said, as for picking up girls, you are far behind your dad. Back then, your dad took mom in just 3 months and got the marriage certificate in just 5 months. Cheng Huan laughed and asked, Mom, tell me secretly, am I my dad's biological son? When the old lady heard this, she immediately blew her beard and glared, You little bastard, how dare you question my loyalty to your father? Cheng Huan said with a smile, Then why didn't I inherit my father's good genes? The old lady rolled her eyes and said, How would I know? By the way, your dad discussed it with the principal of number 13 middle school some time ago and has agreed to let you come back to be a substitute PE teacher for a while, and then you can be a regular teacher if there is a chance. What do you think? Cheng Huan said, Don't worry about my job. I have decided to stay in Jingang after graduation. He doesn't dare tell his mother now, Your son is now worth hundreds of billions, why is he still working as a substitute teacher? My mother said sternly, Don't stay there, come back to Dongjiang, so I can see you every day. By the way, Mom has found a girl for you recently, and I'll arrange a blind date for you when you get home. This little girl is your Aunt Sun Fang's niece. She is very pretty and now works as a full-time anchor. She earns tens of thousands of yuan a month. Upon hearing this, Cheng Huan said directly, Stop it, don't worry about my affairs, you can solve them yourself. He has a prejudice against girls who do live streaming. He always feels that these people are like beggars on the internet, who get something for nothing. What is even more difficult for Cheng Huan to understand is that some people are willing to eat instant noodles and pickles on a normal day, but they still generously give tips to those who give them. For example, Yu Yunfei, the fourth grader in their dormitory. This made Cheng Huan a little confused. My mother said, You can't just talk without doing anything. Show us how to solve it right away. Cheng Huan said, Don't worry, when you graduate, I will definitely bring you a daughter-in-law. The old lady smiled in the video, and then said, Your brother Xing is getting married at the end of this month, and your uncle asked me if you can come back. Cheng Huan said, Brother Xing called me a few days ago, and I promised him that I would go back. He couldn't be absent without reason when his closest cousin got married. Besides, it's not far from home. Besides, getting rich but not returning home is like traveling at night in fine clothes. At the end of this month, I must go home and have some fun. Chapter 17 Li Ergu calls dad. At around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Erguzi and Shinsisi also came back after playing outside. These two people were quite thoughtful and bought a lot of fruits. Seeing Cheng Huan still lying on the bed, Erguzi asked with a smile, Great lover, are you feeling melancholy or sad in your bed? Even Wang Jingnan knew that Cheng Huan rejected Nan Shi, let alone the two of them. This matter has already spread all over the campus. Even the song A Dream That Can't Awaken, sung by Cheng Huan, was reposted crazily. Cheng Huan rolled his eyes at him and said, I was just wondering how many kilograms of lobster you two had for lunch, and whether I can get my money back. Erguzi's face darkened and he pouted, One is at least half an ounce, and there are more than 30 in a plate. How many pounds do you think it weighs? As for the money, just consider it as your contribution to our marriage in advance. Damn, you take Cici with you just to eat crayfish? Cheng Huan asked in surprise. Erguzi pouted, I actually want to go eat lobster. The pair of earrings that Cici likes cost 22,000 yuan, and I borrowed 2,000 yuan online. Cheng Huan smiled. There's no way around it, supporting a girlfriend is just so expensive. Otherwise, why should they sleep with you? Then, Erguzi took a chair and sat in front of Cheng Huan and asked with a playful smile, Haven't you always been in love with the iceberg beauty? Why did you refuse at noon? This is something that many people find difficult to understand. Some people even directly compared Cheng Huan to a madman. I've been chasing her for 4 years but still haven't gotten her. In the end, the school beauty confessed her love to him, but he flatly refused. If this isn't madness, then what is it? Cheng Huan said with a dull look, Giving up is giving up, there is no reason. After hearing this, Erguzi teased, Your head must have been caught in the door. Cheng Huan was speechless and looked out the window. Huan, do you want to eat some watermelon to cool down? At this time, Shinsisi cut a piece of watermelon and asked Cheng Huan. Hello. Cheng Huan said arrogantly. Okay. Shinsisi giggled, cut the watermelon into small pieces, sat beside Cheng Huan's bed and started feeding him. Erguzi was very angry when he saw Cheng Huan lying on the bed enjoying Shinsisi's careful feeding, while he not only didn't have any, but also had to watch by the side. He cursed at the side, I will give you two a place tonight. Cheng Huan smiled while eating watermelon. Thank you. Shinsisi asked with a smile, Huan, do you think the earrings I bought are pretty? Cheng Huan looked at the pair of Chanel earrings on her ears, which were inlaid with some diamonds, and nodded. They look good. You look good in anything you wear. Fuck. You can even say such disgusting words. You are really a pair of dogs. So fucking cold. Urguzi had goosebumps all over his body. Seeing this, Cheng Huan and Shinsisi both burst out laughing. Youth is so happy. Youth is so pure. Youth is capable of doing just that. At this time, Cheng Huan's cell phone rang, and he saw that it was Yarn Yuan calling. As soon as the call was connected, Yarn Yuan said excitedly, Brother, thank you very much this time. The How International Hotel really opened all its accounts in our branch this morning. Cheng Huan smiled and said, Brother Yarn, you are too polite. I will definitely do what I promised you. Yarn Yuan smiled and said, Brother, I learned this morning that you bought the Oriental Miami Villa number 1 yesterday evening. If you are still missing something, I will help you find it. Naturally, the matter of buying a house last night could not escape the bank's surveillance. After all, it was a transfer of 1 billion yuan. He knew it was normal. Cheng Huan joked, we are still short of a yacht. Yarn Yuan smiled awkwardly and said, this old man is really powerless. He can't afford it even if he sells me. I was joking. Cheng Huan smiled and continued, I don't need anything right now, and I don't need you to help me find anything. Yarn Yuan said, Brother, I have a few packs of good cigarettes that I have never smoked. How about I give them to you? Cheng Huan asked, what kind of cigarettes? Yarn Yuan said, and the world's honor is 5,000. Cheng Huan didn't know how much the cigarettes cost, so he agreed directly, then I'll be honored to refuse. I'll go get them when I have time. Yarn Yuan said, if you are busy, you don't have to come to get it. I will ask Sister Li to bring it to you later. Anyway, your university is not far from us. It only takes a few minutes to drive. Okay. Cheng Huan didn't hesitate to tell Yarn Yuan where his apartment building was and hung up the phone. Who's calling? Urguzi asked. Cheng Huan said casually, a bank president wants to give me some cigarettes. Fuck, are you so awesome now? Urguzi's eyes were wide open. They have lived and eaten together for almost 4 years. How could he not know what kind of person Cheng Huan is? How come he suddenly became so arrogant? Could it be that his ancestral tomb caught fire? Cheng Huan sat up and said to Urguzi with a smile, Doggo, if you call me dad now, I will invite you and Cece to the Imperial Hotel to eat Blue Dragon and abalone tonight, and then arrange a presidential suite for you two to stay in, so that you can have a romantic 520. Cheng Huan remembered that Urguzi had boasted about this to Shinsisi before. Since he can't complete it, I'll help him complete it. Who says they are brothers? Upon hearing this, Urguzi and Shinsisi's eyes flashed with excitement. Lobster and abalone are not very attractive. After all, they have eaten it. The key is the presidential suite. They have never seen it, let alone lived there. Soon, Urguzi asked suspiciously, tell me honestly, how come you are so rich now? On this day, he not only saw the Mate X2 mobile phone from Cheng Huan, but also generously gave Cece 20,000 yuan to buy earrings. Now he said he would take them to a big dinner in the evening and arrange a presidential suite for them. Even the bank president had to give him gifts. Did this guy rob a bank? Don't worry about it. Cheng Huan said to Urguzi with a smile, if you want to eat lobster and abalone and live in the presidential suite, just call daddy. This guy relied on his wealth and power to make the 3 brothers in the house call him dad more than a dozen times in 4 years. Now, he wants revenge. Hurry up and call me, I want to live in the presidential suite. Shinsisi said to Urguzi with a smile. Urguzi rolled his eyes and asked Shinsisi with a bit of backbone, I call him dad, what do you call him? Shinsisi looked at Cheng Huan and said with a smile, Huan. Urguzi rolled his eyes and said bitterly, no, you should call him dear Mr. Shiman. You two are just like Panjinian and Shiman Ching now. Da Lang, don't be angry. Shinsisi held back her laughter, forked a piece of watermelon and put it into Urguzi's mouth, here, take your medicine. After Urguzi ate the watermelon, he hardened his heart and called Cheng Huan dad. When Cheng Huan heard Urguzi calling him dad, he laughed happily. 4 years of revenge has finally been avenged. You've got this day too. Chapter 18. Your daughter wants to send me off to heaven. More than 10 minutes later, Cheng Huan received a call from Li Tsuei. He was told that someone had delivered the cigarettes to the downstairs of apartment number 28 of Jingang University and was asked to go downstairs to get them. After Cheng Huan came downstairs, he saw a red Kawasaki motorcycle on the roadside in front of the apartment. A girl with a backpack was leaning lazily against the car body, as if waiting for someone. At this moment, Cheng Huan's eyes flickered across her body a few times like a dragonfly skimming the water. There is nothing wrong with this. Isn't it a pleasure to have a beautiful woman coming from afar? And Cheng Huan was also very pleased. The girl looks of decent height, probably around 1.65 meters. A tight motorcycle suit perfectly highlights her exquisite figure. She was wearing a pair of high-waisted marten shoes. Then, Cheng Huan tapped her face a few more times. This girl has a standard oval face, or cone face. The skin is delicate, the brows are relaxed, and the eyes are clear and transparent. Cheng Huan dared to guarantee that when God was shaping her out of mud, he must have just eaten dumplings. Look, in his joy, he pinched the little girl's head so straight that her nose was a nose and her eyes were eyes. However, this girl doesn't seem to be very old, probably only 18 or 19 years old at most. Cheng Huan walked towards the roadside while staring at the girl. The girl was not to be outdone and stared at Cheng Huan. Moreover, there was a sly smile on her pretty face. What I mean is, you country bumpkin, have you never seen a beautiful woman? Facing the provocative gaze of this little beauty, Cheng Huan did not give in. He thought to himself, little girl, have you never seen a handsome guy like me with a face that can be used as a credit card? The two of them just stared at each other. Whoever blinks loses. Just when Cheng Huan was feeling proud, he stepped on empty air and fell flat on his face in front of this beautiful girl. At this moment, Cheng Huan was only looking at the beauty, but he forgot that a large ditch had been dug on the road in front of their dormitory entrance because of pipeline maintenance. Although it is now filled with soil. But it rained a few days ago, and the backfill soil sank a little. This fall was so damn embarrassing. Har har har. Suddenly, Cheng Huan heard the little girl's evil laughter and squatted on the ground, holding his stomach. At this moment, Cheng Huan finally understood what the girl's sly smile meant. Depend on. Whose child is this? How can it be so bad? After getting up from the ground, Cheng Huan brushed the dirt off his body and glared at the bad girl. After the little girl finished laughing, she stood up and asked Cheng Huan, "Your name is Cheng Huan. Are you the person Sister Li asked to deliver cigarettes?" Cheng Huan frowned and looked at the girl. "What did you call my mom?" The little girl became unhappy when she heard Cheng Huan call Li Tsuei Sister Li. "This is obviously taking advantage of me." "Oh, so you are my eldest niece. Nice to meet you, nice to meet you." At this moment, Cheng Huanker seized the opportunity to take revenge and acted like an uncle. "Hey, could you please have some shame? Who is your oldest niece?" The little girl stared at Cheng Huan with her big eyes and angrily looked at him. Cheng Huan shrugged and said, "I call your mother sister, so aren't you my niece?" "Pooh." The little girl took a sip with a look of disgust. After giving Cheng Huan a blank look, she opened her backpack, took out a paper bag and threw it to Cheng Huan. "My mission is accomplished. Goodbye." Having said that, he put on his helmet with an angry look on his face and got on the motorcycle. Boom. After starting the motorcycle, the little girl lifted the windshield cover and said to Cheng Huan, "Uncle, I will definitely go to get a haircut on February 2nd next year and send you off to heaven." Damn. This girl is so evil. Boom. The locomotive started and left. Looking at the little girl leaving, Cheng Huan curled his lips. I will have to sue her later. Let her mother spank her. The kind that blooms. Then he opened the paper bag and saw 2 packs of cigarettes inside, both Baisha and Chinchia Zhuanshang 5000. He checked the cigarette on his phone. You don't know until you see it. It's shocking. This cigarette costs 14,000 yuan a pack. Moreover, you have to buy it from special channels. So, this cigarette is definitely worth more than this price. It seems that Yarn Yuan really puts a lot of effort into it. With gratitude, Cheng Huan also called Yarn Yuan to thank him for the cigarettes. Not long after, Li Tsuei also called Cheng Huan. So Cheng Huan started to complain. He asked, "Sister Li, how old is your daughter?" Li Tsuei said, 19. Cheng Huan asked again, are you willing to hit her? Li Tsuetsue asked with a smile, did she make you angry? Cheng Huan pursed his lips and said, she said she would definitely go get a haircut on February 2nd next year and send me off respectfully. When Li Tsuetsue heard Cheng Huan's words, she burst into laughter on the phone. She didn't expect that her daughter and Cheng Huan would start arguing as soon as they met. But, this seems not bad. After laughing, Li Tsuetsue said on the phone, when Sister Li comes home, I will definitely give her a good beating to vent your anger for you. Cheng Huan laughed and said, then I'll have to trouble you to be more ruthless. Li Tsuetsue said, no problem, I will definitely beat her so hard that she will take the initiative to admit her mistake to you. Yes, yes. Cheng Huan laughed, as if he saw the evil little girl covering her butt and running around the room. After chatting with Li Tsuetsue for a while, Cheng Huan hung up the phone and returned to the dormitory. Damn, are you going out to steal food from the dog? Seeing Cheng Huan covered in mud, Erguzi smiled mockingly. Cheng Huan rolled his eyes at him and said, I won't compete with you for food. After hearing this, Erguzi gave him a fierce look. When it comes to bickering, he will never be a match for Cheng Huan. There's no way, this unfortunate nickname is too annoying. Shinsisi smiled and said to Cheng Huan, take it off quickly. I'll take it back to the dormitory and wash it for you later. For more than half a year, Shinsisi has been washing Cheng Huan and Erguzi's clothes. Cheng Huan took off his sportswear and handed it to Shinsisi. Even Erguzi's clothes were taken away. Both of them were wearing only a pair of shorts. Sitting on the bed, Cheng Huan took out a piece of paper from the paper bag and opened it. Damn, I can go to heaven after smoking this. When Erguzi saw that it was this cigarette, he just curled his lips. As an experienced smoker, he has some knowledge about this rare and good cigarette. Cheng Huan smiled, lit up and started smoking, saying, come on, call me daddy again and I'll give you 2 packs. Erguzi said shamelessly, I barked 10 times, do you dare to give me 1? No, you have to yell at least 100 times. Cheng Huan shook his head. Damn it, deal. Erguzi gritted his teeth and stamped his feet, and began to shout, Dad, Dad, Dad. He wished this kind of good thing could happen more often every day. Chapter 19. A group of female Tyrannosaurus. At this time, in girls' dormitory number 9, room 1303. Because of her bad mood, Nancy felt unwell after returning. My fever has now reached 38.5 and I am coughing non-stop. For this reason, she didn't even go to the afternoon rehearsal. Dong Roland, Sun Xiamen and Xiao Wei, who were in the room, also did not go. Nancy, why do you torture yourself like this? Dong Roland poured her a glass of warm water, and it seemed that she had not yet calmed down her anger. Sun Xiamen said, that's right, it's not worth being sad for a man like this. Xiao Wei said, let's go to the hospital. After Nancy drank a mouthful of water, she smiled bitterly at the 3 people, shook her head and said, it's okay, I can still hold on. As she spoke, she put on her headphones. I closed my eyes and started listening to the song A Dream That Can't Awaken, which I downloaded from someone else. Every word of the lyrics was like a needle piercing her heart. Stitch after stitch, over and over again, endlessly. Tears welled up in my eyes without me noticing. In fact, after the 99th time, she had gradually fallen in love with Cheng Huan. But she always reminded herself not to give Cheng Huan any hope. Because any man who falls in love with her would be unfortunate. Maybe she is destined to be lonely and miserable in her life. But now, she no longer cares about those things. She wants to have a love that will last a lifetime. Seeing Nancy's tears, Dong Roland couldn't sit still. She stood up from the bed and said, no, I have to go find Cheng Huan. I want to ask this bastard what he wants to do. We'll go with you. Sun Xiamen and Xiao Wei also followed Dong Roland out of the house. They also want to settle accounts with Cheng Huan. The matter of deleting their WeChat accounts must be explained clearly. Soon, the 3 of them walked out of the dormitory angrily. More than 10 minutes later, Dong Roland and the other 2 arrived downstairs of boys' dormitory number 28. Since most of the people living in this building are athletes, they are extremely destructive. Therefore, the dormitory manager downstairs can't control people like them. Anyone who comes to see them will be allowed to enter and exit freely. After Dong Roland and the others arrived here, they asked some of the athletes who were coming in and out, does anyone know which dormitory Cheng Huan lives in? Although they have known Cheng Huan for 4 years. But this was the first time I came to the boys' dormitory to see him. When these people saw Dong Roland and the others, they all looked at each other in surprise. Why are these three fairies looking for Cheng Huan? Is it a settlement of accounts? A junior student said, it seems to be in 709. Thanks. After thanking her, Dong Roland took the elevator to the 7th floor. At this moment, Cheng Huan was sitting in the house chatting with others on WeChat. Now, he has the title of Prince of Love Songs, and many girls have added him on WeChat. I am busy and having a lot of fun. In fact, if Cheng Huan had not been arranged by the confession system to pursue Nanxi, he would still be a boy with a very active mind. I'm just bound by the mission. Bang! After a while, the door of room 709 was violently pushed open. After a moment, several long legs came in. The strips are snow white, slender and dazzling. Nest grass. Seeing the three girls barging in arrogantly, Erguzi, who was lying on the bed playing games, jumped up immediately. Who could have imagined that three beauties would break into their house? What are you doing here? Cheng Huan looked at Dong Roland and the other three in a daze. I'm here to settle the score with you. Xiao Wei said. What's the score? Cheng Huan asked. Dong Roland said angrily, Cheng Huan, are you still not a man? Hearing this, Cheng Huan rolled his eyes, such obvious evidence, can't you see it? Puff. Erguzi, who was standing by, couldn't hold it in and burst out laughing. The three girls looked at him at the same time. Erguzi held back his laughter and raised his hands to the three of them and said, sorry, I couldn't help it. You continue with your materialist dialectics. I'll go out and stand guard for you. When there were only four of them left in the room, Xiao Wei said to Cheng Huan, Nanxi is sick. Not only does she have a fever, she also has a severe cough. Hearing this, Cheng Huan pretended to be indifferent and said, if you are sick, go to the hospital. What are you looking for me for? Sun Xiamen glared at Cheng Huan and said, you've loved her for 4 years. Don't you know that she's very stubborn? Xiao Wei said, she is torturing herself. Heart disease needs to be treated with the heart. Soon, Dong Roland asked, Cheng Huan, tell us honestly, did you reject Nanxi at noon to get revenge on her? I'm not that narrow-minded. Cheng Huan curled his lips and denied it directly. Why is that? Sun Xiamen asked. Cheng Huan shrugged and said, because I don't love her anymore. Dong Roland frowned and said, you are talking nonsense. Whatever you think. Cheng Huan shrugged and smiled. Xiao Wei followed up and said, Cheng Huan, I think you should confess your feelings to Nanxi again at this time and give us a happy ending. Why? Cheng Huan didn't like Xiao Wei's suggestion. Because of love, he can insist on confessing his love 999 times. Now, you still want him to be a bootlicker? They really dare to think. Because you are man. Sun Xiamen retorted. She really couldn't understand Cheng Huan now. Where did the previous bootlicker go? The princess in his heart is sick, can he really be so cruel and ignore her? Cheng Huan still shook his head firmly and said, I have made it very clear to Nanxi yesterday and today that I will no longer have anything to do with him. For him, this feeling has already left along with the confession system. Seeing Cheng Huan's firm refusal, Dong Roland could no longer hold back. She glared at Cheng Huan with a gloomy face and said, Cheng Huan, we really misjudged you. When Nanxi needed you the most, you were like a coward and didn't dare to take responsibility. You really don't deserve to love Nanxi, let alone let Nanxi love you. Cheng Huan's face darkened and he said, Dong Roland, if you pursue a man for 4 years and are rejected by him 999 times, what do you think? If it were you, you would have collapsed long ago. Go back and tell Nanxi that I once loved her, but I really don't love her anymore. The three of them frowned and were speechless. They had indeed seen everything Cheng Huan had done in the past for years. He also spoke well of him. However, Nanxi was too cold and resolute. The room was silent for 3.14 seconds. Dong Roland said, we will tell her and persuade her not to be sad for a man like you who has no responsibility. Thanks. Cheng Huan smiled. At this time, Xiao Wei glared at Cheng Huan with an angry look on her face. Cheng Huan, why did you delete my WeChat? And mine? Sun Xiamen followed up with a question. Cheng Huan rolled his eyes and said, money can't buy my happiness. You really are a pig. After cursing, Xiao Wei dragged Sun Xiamen and turned to walk out. However, Dong Roland glanced at Cheng Huan's evidence and said, Cheng Huan, even if your evidence is sufficient, you are not a man in my heart. Bang! After a while, the door rang again. This group of female Tyrannosaurus. Chapter 20. I want to fall in love again. After a while, Urguzi came back. After he sat down near Cheng Huan, he asked with a sly look on his face, "Why did these three girls all leave in a huff? What? You don't agree with this obvious evidence?" Cheng Huan rolled his eyes at him and said, "They came to me because they wanted me to confess my feelings to Nanxi again. But I rejected it sternly." After hearing this, Urguzi just sucked his teeth. Then he raised his hand and patted Cheng Huan's shoulder, saying seriously, "Brother, no matter what decision you make, I support you. But just don't regret your decision today in the future. After all, taking a step back now is love, but going tough means separation. I'm just worried that you can't stop completely, and you can't continue. This is the most torturous thing." Cheng Huan didn't say anything. He sat on the bed and lit another cigarette. That afternoon, he smoked a month's worth of cigarettes. "There's nothing I can do. I'm so worried. Urguzi is right. The most torturous thing is that you can't stop completely, but you can't continue either." Although he decided to give up Nanxi. "But there is still some love in my heart. How could I forget so quickly?" After finishing the cigarette, Cheng Huan said to Urguzi angrily, "Urguzi, I think it's time to find a new relationship to replace Nanxi. Otherwise, I'm really afraid that I'll feel bad in the future." Love philosophy on university campus. The best way to forget the past is to quickly immerse yourself in a new relationship. He decided to give it a try. "Have you really thought it through?" Urguzi asked again. "Kindness." Cheng Huan nodded heavily. "Since you have decided, I will arrange it and let Cici introduce you to another one." Urguzi smiled and acted quickly. When brothers are in trouble, we must do our best. And it has to be fast. He took out his phone and sent a message to Cici. "Huan wants to fall in love again. Invite a single beautiful female classmate tonight, and let's go to the Dahao Hotel to eat lobster and abalone together." It is not difficult to introduce a girlfriend to Cheng Huan. After all, this guy is the school hunk, and there are so many girls who are thinking about him. If he hadn't been clinging to Nanxi for the past 4 years, he would have had many girlfriends. Bite. Receive. Shinsi's voice. These two people are so in sync with each other in everything they do. It's settled. Urguzi stood in front of Cheng Huan and said with his big white teeth showing. Cheng Huan looked at Urguzi and laughed. "Why do I feel like you are a ruffian in the Yangjing alleys? Is it an inherited profession?" All in all, Urguzi has asked Cici to introduce several girls to Cheng Huan. His purpose is also simple. It is to let Cheng Huan give up pursuing Nanxi as soon as possible. However, they all failed. Cheng Huan was indifferent to those girls. Urguzi rolled his eyes and said, "I'm just worried that you'll be feeling suffocated and always thinking about my Cici." Cheng Huan continued to laugh and said, "I have to get you drunk with Mao Tai tonight, and then we'll really have sex, otherwise I'll be sorry for making you so nervous. Damn it, can't you two just do this secretly? Can you please not just say it out loud? My style is that an honest person doesn't do shady things. Why should I be sneaky? Damn it, are you trying to piss me off?" After Urguzi cursed loudly, he pounced on Cheng Huan and started to fight with him. They have always been so frivolous. Give your mouth a treat every day and celebrate the new year. Bite. More than 10 minutes later, Urguzi's WeChat rang. "I heard the voice message from Shinsici. Doggo, tell Huan that I invited Zuoran." Receive. After Urguzi replied, he smacked his lips at Cheng Huan and said, "Damn, Cici is really awesome. She even invited the campus beauty of Zui University to you. You have to try harder tonight and try to win her over." Hearing this, Cheng Huan was also stunned. He really didn't expect Zuoran would accept the invitation. Zuoran, one of the 3 beauties at Jingang University, is a junior at the School of Finance and lives in the same dormitory building as Shinsici. Not only is she beautiful, but her academic performance is also amazing. He was once the top scholar in liberal arts in Dongnin province. However, in order to take care of her mother who depended on her for everything, this girl gave up the admission letters from Tsinghua University and Yander University and entered the School of Finance of Jingang University. Although Jingang University is also a double first-class university, but it is still a level lower than Tsinghua University and Yander University. The remaining flower is Sophia, a fifth-year medical student, who is not on their main campus. Cheng Huan had never seen her and didn't know her. He, with the beautiful Zhua accompanying you tonight, I can drink Mao Tai without any worries. Erguzi laughed a few times, like a fool. Drink to death tonight, you idiot. Seeing his behavior, Cheng Huan laughed and cursed. At 5:30 in the evening, Cheng Huan and Erguzi came to the girls' dormitory building number 8 where Shinsisi lived. As soon as they arrived here, they saw two people waiting downstairs. In addition to Shinsisi, there was also a beautiful girl who was half a head taller than her, standing there gracefully. Seeing Cheng Huan and Erguzi coming, the two girls took a few more steps towards them. As soon as she got there, Shinsisi said with a sweet smile, "Huan Huan, you are now recognized as the prince of love songs in the whole school. The song you sang is playing all over our dormitory building." Cheng Huan smiled. Then, his eyes flashed to the girl standing next to Shinsisi, who was about the same height as Nanxi and was wearing a white printed dress. Those long legs are thin, white and straight. She was wearing a pair of high-waisted black canvas shoes. Maybe the girl was shy and was standing there with her head down, not daring to look Cheng Huan in the face. Her long hair hung down, covering most of her face, but it could not hide her graceful and free-spirited temperament. No need to guess, this girl is Zhuoran. Shinsisi also looked at Zhuoran and asked, "Zhuoran, what's wrong with you? The Prince of Love Song is here." Hearing the shouting, Zhuoran timidly raised his head. Then she smiled gently and said to Cheng Huan in a neat and generous manner, "Hello, senior, my name is Zhuoran." This girl is so honest that she actually calls Cheng Huan senior. "Hello." Cheng Huan also responded with a smile. In the past, he had only seen Zhuoran from a distance a few times and was always struck by her beauty. Now the distance between them was only 50 centimeters, and he could finally see her face clearly. Even without any makeup, her face was still breathtakingly beautiful. Thick, slightly curved eyebrows. Eyes like shining stars. A small, straight nose. Rose-like lips. A rounded and delicate chin. Slender white neck. In terms of figure and appearance, she and Nanxi are definitely on par with each other. Nanxi exudes a kind of cold nobility, like an iceberg beauty. She has an elegant and scholarly air, like a beautiful lady in a painting. No wonder she is praised by countless boys as one of the 3 flowers of Jingang University. It seems that the public's vision is still sharp. Chapter 21, Finding a New Love So Soon. After Cheng Huan and Zhuoran got to know each other, Shinsisi snickered nearby, "Huan Huan, Zhuoran has been listening to the song you sang for the whole afternoon, and now he is obsessed with it and can't get out of it. As soon as she heard me say that you wanted to treat her to dinner tonight, she agreed without any hesitation. Anyone who can accept Cheng Huan's invitation to go out for dinner today must be a single person. Moreover, it is enough to show that Zhuoran also wants to date Cheng Huan. After all, Cheng Huan rejected Nanxi's confession at noon. This has invisibly given hope to many single girls in the school. Cheng Huan now is definitely harder to pursue than the school belle. Every girl has an unwillingness to accept defeat in her heart. I really want to try to chew this hard bone. Cheng Huan smiled and said, "Thank you for your appreciation. Senior, can you sing A Dream That Can't Awaken for me again tonight?" Zhuoran asked Cheng Huan with a sweet smile. She had only listened to the recorded version before and really wanted to listen to the live version. Before Cheng Huan could express his opinion, Erguzi laughed and said, "Don't worry, he gets excited when he sees a beautiful woman. He will definitely sing for you without reservation tonight, not missing a single word." Juan. As soon as Erguzi finished speaking, Cheng Huan kicked him on the butt and he almost fell down. This scene also made Shinsisi and Zhuoran laugh. "Fuck you." Erguzi cursed angrily. Just when Cheng Huan and the other 3 were walking near apartment building number 9, they happened to see Dong Roland and Sun Xiaoman walking towards them from the direction of the supermarket carrying a bag of snacks. When they saw Cheng Huan and the other 3 talking and laughing as they walked towards the crossing, their faces suddenly changed. "Cheng Huan, where are you going?" Dong Roland stepped forward and questioned. His eyes also glanced at Zhuoran who was nearby. At the same time, I was secretly complaining in my heart, this bastard is really cunning. It's only been half a day, but he has already picked up another school beauty. No wonder he resolutely rejected Nanxi. This has already found a new home. It's none of your business, stop asking. Cheng Huan rolled his eyes at Dong Roland. He still remembers what the girl said in the afternoon: he was not a man. This is not a question of contempt. It's humiliating. If she dared to say such things again, Cheng Huan would have to produce strong evidence and give her a good beating. Why is it none of my business? Dong Roland refused to give in and stood in front of Cheng Huan. Are you going on a date with Zhuoran? 2 men and 2 women. Wang Liang and Shen Sisi are a couple. There must be something wrong with the remaining Cheng Huan and Zhuoran. After all, today is a special day. Cheng Huan nodded with a smile. Yes, is it not possible? Dong Roland said solemnly, do you know that Nanxi is still sick? Can you eat this dinner? Cheng Huan sneered, why can't I eat it? According to you, I should starve to death. He was rejected by Nanxi 999 times, and he also had countless times when he lost his appetite. Who cared about him? Why should he be sad just because Nanxi is sick? Sun Xiamen said contemptuously, Cheng Huan, you are such a scumbag. You found a new lover so quickly. Doesn't your conscience bother you? When Cheng Huan was called a scumbag, his face darkened. It is said that women are unreasonable. He learned his lesson today. Then, he sneered and said, what? You mean you want me to be single for the rest of my life? Sun Xiamen pursed her lips and said, in short, you must not let Nanxi down. Hey, can you two be reasonable? Who let who down? Erguzi didn't want to hear that and spoke up for him. Cheng Huan had finally managed to break away from Nanxi, but these 2 people tried to stop him. As a brother, I absolutely support Cheng Huan's decision. Dong Roland rolled her eyes at Erguzi and said, stop butting in. This is none of your business. Erguzi's face darkened, what does that have to do with you? Sun Xiamen said, Nanxi is our good sister. Erguzi said, Cheng Huan is my good buddy. Seeing that she couldn't win the argument with Erguzi, Dong Roland looked at Zhuoran and said, Zhuoran, Cheng Huan already has a girlfriend, don't be fooled by him. Seniors, Cheng Huan and I are just ordinary friends. It's not as complicated as you think. You're worrying too much. Zhuoran smiled bitterly. Now, she no longer wants to eat. It made her feel like a third party. It's so incredibly embarrassing. Let's go, ignore them, let's go eat. Cheng Huan said this and took the lead and walked forward. Erguzi smiled at Dong Roland and Sun Xiamen and said, how about you two come with us to the Daha Hotel to eat something? Eat you to death. Sun Xiamen glared at him. Forget it, why are you so fierce? Be careful you won't get married. Erguzi chuckled and caught up with Cheng Huan and the others. After watching Cheng Huan and the others walk away, Dong Roland and Sun Xiamen were so angry that they stomped their feet. After a while, the 2 returned to the dormitory and sat on the chairs with angry faces. The body also rises and falls drastically. What happened to you two? Xiao Wei looked a little puzzled. I was mad at Cheng Huan, that scumbag. Sun Xiamen folded her hands in front of her, looking extremely angry. Xiao Wei asked in surprise, where did he make you two angry? Dong Roland said, downstairs. This bastard actually took Zhuoran on a date. Xiao Wei was a little surprised and said, this bastard is really capable. He even managed to make an appointment with Zhuoran. She is the school beauty who is as famous as Nanxi. I wonder how many people are thinking about it. However, Zhuoran, like Nanxi, was dismissive of those suitors. Now, he was going on a date with Cheng Huan for no apparent reason. This vacancy is filled. It's really fast. Lying on the bed, Nanxi felt a dull pain in her heart after hearing the news. She now felt that Cheng Huan was getting further and further away from her, so she sat up and said, Roland, help me follow Cheng Huan. I also want to go on a date with him tonight. Nanxi, are you crazy? Hearing Nanxi's words, Sun Xiamen frowned. She couldn't imagine that Nanxi, who was usually as proud as a white swan, would actually say such words. Even if you announce that you're pursuing someone, there's no need to be so aggressive, right? That is. Xiao Wei also advised, Nanxi, is such a man still worthy of your love? Dong Roland came to Nanxi's bed with a bottle of milk and persuaded her, Nanxi, I don't think you need to humiliate yourself anymore. It's not worth it. Here, drink some unmuxi to warm your stomach. Nanxi shook her head, I hurt him too deeply before, so he wants to leave me now. I have to get him back now. Once the defenses are broken, Love can no longer be controlled. Human beings can no longer stop her love for Cheng Huan. You two must have been enemies in your previous life. At this moment, Dong Roland shook her head helplessly and had to walk out of the house with her long legs. When her sister asks for help, she must help, even though she was very reluctant to do so. After Dong Roland left, Nancy quickly got out of bed to wash her face, put on makeup, and change clothes. She wanted to show her best side to Cheng Huan. We must keep Cheng Huan's heart. Chapter 22. We are innocent. Half an hour later, Cheng Huan, Erguzi and the others took a taxi to the Dahao International Hotel. Since today is May 20th, there are too many people coming to the Dahao Hotel to eat and book rooms. All kinds. Among them, the most common combination is the old and the young. The woman's hands are full of various flowers. These two bastards. When Cheng Huan and his friends entered the hotel, Wang Ledong, who had been waiting there for a long time, hurried over to greet them. As soon as he came up to him, he bowed and said, "Boss. Boss. Erguzi. Shinsisi. Zhuoran." The three of them looked at each other. Could it be that Cheng Huan is a rich second generation? When did you become the boss here? After a moment, Erguzi looked at Cheng Huan in astonishment. This name is so fucking scary. This is a hotel worth billions. It turned out to be Cheng Huan's. Who wouldn't be surprised? Yesterday. Cheng Huan smiled slightly. Erguzi asked, "Did the rich woman give it to you as well?" Cheng Huan curled his lips. "You guessed right. Sisi, come here and wake me up." Erguzi touched his cheek with his hand and said to Shinsisi. He felt like this was a dream. It's so unreal. Bang! A loud sound rang out. Cheng Huanxiao asked, "How is it? Does it hurt?" "Fuck you." Erguzi rubbed his face and cursed. The actions of the two made Shinsisi and Zhuoran couldn't help laughing, but they didn't dare to laugh out loud here. Her little face turned red. Even Wang Ledong, who was standing by, wanted to laugh. After a moment, Cheng Huan said to Wang Ledong, "Remember this face. When he comes here to eat and stay, he can use his face as a card. The limit is 500,000. Okay." Wang Ledong quickly smiled and nodded. That's more like it. This made Erguzi happy. Finally, I can use my long face as a card. Do you want Chinese or Western food tonight? Cheng Huan asked Shinsisi and Zhuoran. Western food. The two girls said in unison. If you come to such a high-end place and don't eat some Western food, who would you be sorry for? Cheng Huan nodded and said to Wang Ledong, "Go get me a presidential suite, arrange some Western food, and serve 2 bottles of Moutai and 2 bottles of better red wine." Understood. I'll arrange it right away. Please, boss. Wang Ledong quickly responded and extended his hand to invite Cheng Huan and others. At this time, Dong Roland, who had followed and was hiding at the door, said to Nancy via WeChat, "They are at the Dahao Hotel by the sea." After a while, Nancy replied, "I got it, I'll be there right away." Soon after, Cheng Huan and his 3 companions, led by a female room steward, took a special elevator to the presidential suite 5018 on the 50th floor. As soon as they came in, Erguzi and the other 2 were shocked by the luxurious decoration here. After Cheng Huan had been baptized by Oriental Miami No. 1, he was no longer surprised. After all, no matter how luxurious this place is, it can't be more luxurious than my own villa. While these people followed the housekeeper on a tour, Cheng Huan sat in the living room eating some welcome fruits. After a while, Erguzi returned to the living room. Then, he sat down next to Cheng Huan with an excited look on his face and said, "Damn it, I don't want to go back to Yangjing now. I'll stay in Jingang and hang out with you. Just arrange a manager for me." Cheng Huan said with a look of disgust, "You'd better go back to Yangjing as soon as possible. Staying here will only annoy me to death." Grass. Erguzi said angrily, "I'm leaving to make room for you and Jin Lian." Hee hee. Cheng Huan burst into laughter. "Go back to Yangjing to gain experience for a while, and then come to help me later." After laughing, Cheng Huan also patted Erguzi on the shoulder. Although Erguzi is ugly. But also his brother. Good. Erguzi nodded happily. After a while, Erguzi asked again, "Huan Huan, tell me honestly, what is going on with this hotel?" Cheng Huan said before that it was a gift from a rich woman, but that was all nonsense. No one with a bit of intelligence would believe it. My situation is similar to Wang Duiyu's. I inherited a lot of property directly. This is the only explanation he can give for this matter now. Anyway, Urguzi has never been to his house. Why are you so lucky? Urguzi's eyes were full of envy. Your fate is bad. Cheng Huan rolled his eyes and teased, you've been living a life of luxury since you were a child, and you're so ugly, but you still have a girlfriend as beautiful as Cece. Do you know how many boys in school want to beat you to death? Hey hey. This guy smiled with his big teeth bared. At this time, Cheng Huan's phone rang, and he saw a message from Zhao Yihan. I heard that you rejected Nanshi's confession today. This woman is really well informed. Even she knows it. Cheng Huan, didn't I tell you yesterday that she and I are over? Zhao Yihan, is there anyone to celebrate with you tonight? If not, I'll accompany you. Cheng Huan thought for a moment and replied, I already have an appointment with a few friends tonight. Let's meet some other day. Zhao Yihan, okay. Who are you talking to? Seeing Cheng Huan put away his phone, Urguzi asked. Cheng Huan shrugged and said, Zhao Yihan. Hearing the name, Urguzi was stunned. Zhao Yihan, the school beauty from last year. Kindness. When did you hook up with her? What do you mean by hook? Cheng Huan rolled his eyes at him. What does she want from you? Dating. Isn't she married? Divorced. Fuck, I asked you out on 520, and you still dare to say that you two are fine. Cheng Huan shook his head and said, she and I just met yesterday afternoon. Urguzi said with a smile, this woman is absolutely hot, if you have the chance, don't hesitate, just take her. Cheng Huan looked at Urguzi and smiled, there is a chance, but I still remember that she was married. In terms of appearance and temperament, Zhao Yihan is definitely worthy of Cheng Huan's attention. However, the fact that he had been married made him feel uncomfortable. Urguzi said in a low voice with disdain, what's wrong with being married? When Cece was with me, there was no first time either. But that doesn't stop me from loving her in my heart. Cheng Huan looked at him with disdain and said, married ones are different from second-hand ones. Urguzi raised his eyelids and asked, what's the difference? As long as there is love in the heart, everything is the same regardless of how many marriages there are. Cheng Huan shook his head, the key is that I don't love her. Urguzi said with disdain, you have such a handsome face for nothing. If I had a face as handsome as yours, I would not go to school, but go to the Black Horse Club to make money every day. It would be fun and I could make money. If I meet a rich woman who is generous, she can buy me a big hotel and turn my life around. Cheng Huan laughed and said, it's useless even if you are handsome, it's too short. After a few tuts, the rich woman will definitely walk away in anger. Upon hearing this, Urguzi said contemptuously, you are useless, you still have nowhere to go. Damn it, do you believe I'm going to cheat on you tonight? If you want to live a decent life, you have to have some green on your head. Okay, I'll give you a decent life tonight. Chapter 23 Is the boss cheating? The two of them joked around for a while, and Cheng Huan probably felt a little uncomfortable in his stomach because he ate too much watermelon in the afternoon. So he got up and went to the bathroom in the small living room. More than 10 minutes later, he solved the problem and walked out of the bathroom. While washing my hands, I suddenly heard Zhuoran standing in the small living room outside and talking quietly on the phone. I'll tell you again, I've never promised you anything, and I've never liked you. Please don't bother me again, okay? Yes, I already have a boyfriend now. We will go to get a room after dinner tonight. Are you satisfied with this answer? I'm warning you, Ji Shishin, if you dare to come to our school to cause trouble for Cheng Huan, I will never talk to you again in my life. I have explained it to you now, I am hanging up. When Zhuoran put away the phone and turned around, she just happened to see Cheng Huan walking out of the bathroom. As soon as she saw Cheng Huan, the girl's face turned red. Who wants to trouble me? Cheng asked with a smile. You heard everything. Zhuoran's face turned even redder. Thinking about what I just said, I felt extremely ashamed. After all, she used Cheng Huan as a shield. Cheng Huan shrugged and said, I'm not deaf, of course I heard everything. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that without your permission and treated you as my boyfriend. Zhuoran said apologetically. What's there to say sorry for? Cheng Huan smiled and asked, who is this Ji Shishin? Is he very powerful? Zhuoran nodded slightly and said, he is the son of the boss of Haichang Group. I ranked first in the province in the exam and received 20,000 yuan in financial support from his father, so we got to know each other. He has been pursuing me for the past 3 years, but I never said yes to him. He practices Sonder. He won the provincial Sonder championship last year and was recruited to the provincial team for training. But he later got into a fight in the provincial team and was persuaded to withdraw. After hearing this, Cheng Huan smiled fearlessly and said, it's okay. I'm tough and I'm not afraid of being beaten. Upon hearing this, Zhuoran smiled bitterly. Senior, I want to ask you something. You ask. Why did you reject Senior Nanshi? Because when love is deep, it hurts, and I can't afford to be hurt anymore. Zhuoran nodded gently, looked up at Cheng Huan and asked, do you still love her? Cheng Huan said, it has faded. In fact, we all think you two are a perfect match. Why did you have to go through so much hardship? Zhuoran said with some confusion. Cheng Huan smiled and didn't explain. Then he asked with a smile, you just said that we will go to get a room after dinner tonight, is that true? Senior. Zhuoran's pretty face instantly turned red to her ears. This bad guy, why is he bringing up things that are not related to the topic? What she said just now was completely intended to make Ji Shishin give up. Who would have thought that Cheng Huan heard it? He. Seeing her shy look, Cheng Huan laughed happily a few times. Then he added, it seems that what they say in the movies is true. You can never trust what beautiful women say. We. Zhuoran laughed twice. When the two returned to the living room, they saw Erguzi and Shinsisi sitting there talking and laughing. No one knew what they were talking about. Seeing Cheng Huan and Zhuoran coming back together, Shinsisi asked with a smile, Huan, what were you and Zhuoran secretly talking about in there? You are asking very detailed questions. Erguzi rolled his eyes at Shinsisi and said, what can two single guys talk about together? Of course, it's about love. After hearing what Erguzi said, Zhuoran blushed again. Senior, there is a piano here, please play a few songs for us. Zhuoran said. I want to hear it, too. Shinsisi followed up. No problem. Cheng Huan chuckled and nodded, then sat down in front of the piano and began to play and sing. In addition to singing The Dream That Can't Awaken Again, he also sang Flying Birds and Cicadas. The entire process was also recorded by Shinsisi and Zhuoran with their mobile phones. At this moment, Zhuoran has been completely conquered by Cheng Huan's musical talent. In the past, the majors she most wanted to study were vocal music and dance. However, this kind of expenditure is not something that an average family can afford. When she was 9 years old, her father died in a work-related accident while working in another place. Over the years, she has been living with her mother and younger sister. Seeing her mother working so hard, the sensible girl studied hard and never made excessive demands. It's true that a noble son comes from a poor family. Senior, can you teach me to play the piano in the future? Zhuoran asked. Shinsisi smiled and said, if you want to learn, he would probably be eager to teach you step by step. Erguzi said, you still call him senior? I think calling him Huan is more intimate. After hearing this, Zhuoran blushed and smiled. Cheng Huan also smiled and nodded, no problem, if you want to learn, I will teach you everything I know in the future. Don't talk about it later, teach me everything you know now. Shinsisi followed up. Come, let me teach you the basics of keystrokes first. Cheng Huan generously pulled Zhuoran to sit on the chair and began to teach her step by step. There are 52 white keys on the piano keyboard from left to right, and 36 black keys are arranged in parallel on the upper half of the white keys. The white key to the left of the 2 black keys is Do. At this moment, in the hotel lobby, Nanshi, dressed fresh and brightly, came and met Dong Roland in the lobby. They have gone upstairs. Dong Roland said. Which floor? Nanshi asked. It's a special elevator, you can't see it. I'll go ask. Nanshi nodded and walked directly towards the female lobby manager. Hello, can you tell me which room upstairs the 2 men and 2 women took the special elevator to? Nanshi asked the female lobby manager carefully. Who are you? When the female lobby manager heard that the person was looking for the boss, she did not dare to be negligent. I'm a friend of those people. We had an appointment to come here today to celebrate 520. But I had a cold and a fever, so we arrived late. Now my phone is out of battery, so I can't contact them. Nanshi said. Our boss is in the presidential suite upstairs. I'll call him and ask him. What's your name, miss? The female lobby manager said. She didn't dare to make the decision on her own on such matters. It's better to call and ask to be safe. After all, Cheng Huan already has a beautiful girl by his side. This made her careful. Boss. Nanshi and Dong Roland were both surprised and looked at each other. Soon, Dong Roland asked, You mean? Cheng Huan is the owner of your hotel. The female manager nodded in surprise and said, Yes. This hotel is his. Didn't he tell you? Dong Roland said to Nanshi, Nanshi, this bastard actually hid his identity from us for 4 years. I always thought he was just a child from an ordinary family. I didn't expect that he was actually a rich second generation. No, I have to call and ask him what he means. As she spoke, the girl took out her cell phone and made a call. The female manager took a look and saw that the phone had power. Could it be that the boss is cheating and the legal girlfriend is here to catch the mistress? Chapter 24. It was you who pushed me away. Ding-a-ling. Just when Cheng Huan was earnestly teaching Zhuo Ran to play the piano, his cell phone suddenly rang. When he took out his cell phone and saw that it was Dong Roland's number, he frowned. After the call was connected, he asked, Why are you calling? Dong Roland said, Come down quickly to pick up Nanshi. Cheng Huan was slightly surprised. Nanshi is here. Hearing Cheng Huan's words, Erguzi and the other two were all stunned. Oh my god, they are catching up to me. They really don't understand it now. Cheng Huan pursued Nanshi for 4 years but was still not moved. Now, look what has happened, they've even come right to our doorstep. What on earth is Nanshi trying to do? Yes, Nanshi and I are in the hotel lobby, come down and pick her up quickly. After Dong Roland finished speaking, she hung up the phone. Seeing Cheng Huan put down his phone, Erguzi asked in surprise, Is Nanshi chasing us? Kindness. Cheng Huan smiled bitterly. Har har, looks like it's going to be lively tonight. Erguzi smiled. Not long after, Cheng Huan came downstairs and saw Nanshi and Dong Roland. When he saw Nanshi's sickly appearance, his heart ached. What are you doing here? Cheng Huan said in a gentle tone. He wanted to ask loudly. But the habit he developed over the past 4 years made him speak softly and warmly in front of Nanshi. I want to spend 520 with you. Nanshi said pitifully. Nanshi, can you please stop doing this? It's really over between us, please let me go. Cheng Huan said somewhat helplessly. Nanshi said with tears in her eyes, Huan, I don't want it to end. I want to be with you. I love you. Cheng Huan, if you are a man, don't treat Nanshi like this. When a girl stands in front of you and begs you to love her, what a humble mentality it is. What else do you want from her? Dong Roland on the side said with red eyes. After hearing this, Cheng Huan frowned deeply. Why? Cheng Huan sighed, then said, Let's go upstairs to eat first. He really couldn't bear to be cruel to Nanshi. Especially now that he looks so sick. It's not that he's indecisive. But he knows how painful it feels to be rejected. Do not do to others what you do not want others to do to you. You guys go ahead, I won't get involved in your business. Dong Roland didn't want to go with them. Cheng Huan glanced at Dong Roland and said, You don't need a pair of chopsticks. Dong Roland shook her head and said, This is not about whether a pair of chopsticks is different or not. It's that I am not suitable to sit down and eat with you guys. Remember, after dinner, send Nanshi back safely. New. Cheng Huan responded and walked towards the special elevator. Soon, Nanshi caught up. After a slight hesitation, she reached out and held Cheng Huan's arm. Being held by Nanshi, Cheng Huan just gave a bitter smile. Nanshi, you know what? Before yesterday, I dreamed of walking anywhere with you like this. But today, I no longer feel that joyful mood. You hold my arm, just like Erguzi holds me, there is no feeling at all. Nanshi felt distressed, but she was not discouraged and said, I know you don't have any feelings for me now, but I will slowly win your heart back. Cheng Huan smiled bitterly and shook his head again, there is really no possibility for you and me. I have fallen in love with Zhuo Ran now. She is my girlfriend now. Tears flowed from Nanshi's eyes involuntarily. But she still forced a smile and choked up as she said, I will compete with her. Cheng Huan stopped and looked at Nanshi with mixed feelings. He reached out to wipe Nanshi's tears and said, "Can you please stop torturing me? Let me have a good relationship in college, okay? Then let's fall in love together, I will give you all my love." Nanshi said pitifully. Cheng Huan looked at Nanshi with some surprise. "I feel like this girl's brain must have been stimulated." After a moment, he said with a look of disappointment, "Nanshi, stop humiliating yourself. It's over between us." "No." In grief, Nanshi hugged Cheng Huan and cried in his arms, "It's not over yet. I don't want it to end." The actions of the two also attracted many people in the hotel to look at them. Young people nowadays are really ignorant. They would abandon such a good girlfriend. You still have the nerve to criticize others. Don't you men all like other people's wives? Who said that? The red flag of my family will never fall. Hearing what these people said, Cheng Huan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. They must have all thought that Cheng Huan had abandoned Nanshi. "Let's go, Zhuaran and the others are still upstairs waiting for me to go back for dinner." Cheng Huan patted Nanshi on the back, gently pushed her away, and entered the elevator together. In the elevator, Nanshi quickly took out a small mirror from her bag and touched up her makeup, not wanting anyone to see her in this state. "Can you still tell that I cried?" After taking a break, Nanshi asked Cheng Huan. "Much better," said Cheng Huan. The elevator arrived at the station, the door opened, and Nanshi took Cheng Huan's arm again. "Can we not do this?" Cheng Huan frowned. If they go back into their house like this, even if nothing happened between them, people will still misunderstand them. "I don't." The cool school beauty pouted her lips. "Do you know what you look like now?" "Like what?" Cheng Huan frowned and said, "Like me in the past, a big bootlicker." "I don't care as long as I can make you change your mind," Nanshi said. Cheng Huan smiled bitterly and said, "Do you still remember Christmas Eve in your sophomore year? That day, you also had a cold and a fever, and you didn't eat for a whole day. Dong Roland secretly told me that you wanted to drink the 8 treasure porridge from Joji porridge shop. So, while everyone else was celebrating Christmas Eve, I was out in the freezing cold of more than 10 degrees Celsius going to look for the owner of Joji porridge shop. That night, it was snowing heavily outside and the road was no longer accessible. I finally found the boss's home, but he refused to go back to the porridge shop to do business no matter what. In the end, I knelt at the door of his house for more than an hour before I moved the lady boss and got her to walk back to the porridge shop with me and buy you a bowl of 8 treasure porridge. At that time, you were all in my heart. As long as you needed me, I would do it for you even if I froze to death on the street." At this moment, Nanshi cried again. "The makeup I just put on is ruined again." Then, Cheng Huan opened his sportswear, revealing a hideous scar on his shoulder. "See this scar?" Nanshi nodded, reached out and gently touched the scar, and asked, "What happened?" Cheng Huan asked, "Do you still remember that extracurricular playboy Guo Chanlong who used to harass you?" Nanshi nodded and asked, "Did he hurt me?" "No." Cheng Huan shook his head, pulled his sportswear back on and said, "I hurt myself." "Why?" Nanshi looked puzzled. Cheng Huan smiled and said, "Because I want to tell him in the most ruthless way that if he dares to harass you again, this knife will fall on him." "Why are you so stupid?" Nanshi was already crying her eyes out. She knew that Cheng Huan was good to her. But I didn't expect it to be this good. She hated herself for knowing this only now. Soon, Cheng Huan said again, "I said this not to impress you. I said this to tell you how real my love for you was, but you always turned a blind eye to it." "No." Nanshi shook her head vigorously and refused to admit it. She cares about Cheng Huan, and has always cared about him. If she didn't care about Cheng Huan, she wouldn't have to torture herself like this. "Nanshi, I reject you now, not because I, Cheng Huan, feel sorry for you, but because you pushed me away little by little. I was wrong. Give me a chance to reform and let me pursue you." Nanshi begged, crying. Cheng Huan started to feel dizzy before he even drank the drink. Chapter 25 Because I have the capital. "Come on, let's go in." After a while, Cheng Huan brought Nanshi to the presidential suite. "Hello, Nanshi." "Hello, Senior." Urguzi, Shinsisi, Zhuaran and the other 3 also greeted Nanshi enthusiastically. "Hello." Nanshi took off the arrogant and cold appearance she wore at school and greeted Urguzi and the others with a smile. While the 3 women were chatting together, Erguzi pulled Cheng Huan into the small living room and started smoking. Dude, why do I feel like Nanshi has completely changed into a different person? I think she's crazy now. Cheng Huan covered his face with his hands and rubbed them dryly for a few times, then smiled bitterly and said, "She just told me outside that she was wrong, and begged me to give her another chance to reform, and she wanted to chase me." You promised? No. So what are you going to do? I don't know now. Cheng Huan shook his head and also took a puff of his cigarette. Grass. Erguzi cursed and said, "I think you should stop hesitating. After all, you loved her so much." Cheng Huan exhaled a puff of smoke and said, "That was in the past." With the release of the confession system, Cheng Huan's mood also relaxed. Otherwise, he wouldn't have told Erguzi that he wanted to get into a new relationship. "Are you ready to pursue Zhuoran with all your strength?" Erguzi asked. Cheng Huan shook his head. "Do you know what Zhao Yihan said to me yesterday?" "Say what?" Erguzi glanced at Cheng Huan. Cheng Huan chuckled and said, "She said that only rich men are qualified to think about beautiful women." Fuck, this woman's mouth is still so poisonous. Erguzi cursed directly. Cheng Huan smiled and said, "What I told her was not entirely true. A man as rich as me doesn't need to think about any beautiful women. It should be those beautiful women who think about me." Your words are very powerful. Erguzi nodded at Cheng Huan with a smile. Cheng Huan put out his cigarette and said, "So, I won't pursue anyone easily anymore. Whoever wants my heart, come and chase me." Erguzi said, "You are getting too arrogant." "Because I have the capital." Cheng Huan smiled. Ding-a-ling. At this time, Cheng Huan and Erguzi's cell phones rang at the same time. They took it out and saw that it was a video invitation from Yu Yunfei, the roommate in the dormitory. The two of them answered the call and saw that Wang Jingnan was also online. As soon as he saw Yu Yunfei, Erguzi asked, "Xiao Sai, why do you look like this now?" In the video, Yu Yunfei has long hair, untidy beard, and sunken eyes, as if he had smoked opium. There is no trace of the neat and tidy look he had in school. Is this a blow from a ruthless society? Yu Yunfei said in the video, "I've been so busy lately that I don't have time to clean myself up." This guy, like Wang Jingnan, studied electronic information engineering. "I currently work in a telecommunications company in my hometown, working as a glorious signal tower erector. There is no way, the talent competition is too serious now. Boss, I heard that you rejected the school beauty's confession today." Soon, Yu Yunfei asked with a smile in the video. Cheng Huan curled his lips and said, "Fuck, this is really true that good news doesn't go out, but bad news spreads 1,000 miles. However, this seems to be the first case in the history of Jingang University where someone bravely rejected the love confession of a campus beauty. It is not surprising that it can be spread by many people." Erguzi laughed and said, "Our boss is so awesome now. 2 school beauties are accompanying him tonight to celebrate 520. Damn, I'm so jealous." Wang Jingnan asked in surprise, "Erguzi, who are they?" Erguzi's smile looks really ugly in the special effects shot. Then, he whispered, "Of course it's the 2 school beauties, Nanshi and Zhuoran. Oh my god. Awesome." The 2 people in the video exclaimed together. Cheng Huan could only smile bitterly at the camera. Soon, Erguzi said with a beaming face, "By the way, our boss is now a real rich second generation, don't you know it? The Imperial International Hotel in Jingang is under his name. We are now sitting in the presidential suite of this hotel, waiting to eat lobster and abalone and drink Maotai." R. Wang Jingnan was stunned. "Yu Yunfei, your chin can't be lowered." 3.14 seconds later, Wang Jingnan said, "Boss, when we go back, you have to let us stay in the presidential suite." Yu Yunfei said, "I really want to go back now. I'm not going to work anymore. I'll just be a bag carrier for the boss from now on." When he heard someone was trying to steal his job, Erguzi cursed, "Get lost. I'll take the boss's bag. You can only wash his feet." Wang Jingnan chimed in, "Your face is too long. It's not suitable for you to carry the boss's bag. You're more suitable for back rubbing." Cheng Huan smiled and said, "You all should go to work honestly first. I will arrange opportunities for you 3 to carry bags, wash feet, and rub backs in the future. Clear?" The 2 men responded. Not long after, Nanshi, Zhuoran, and Shenxisi, who were sitting and chatting in the large living room, also heard the laughter in the small living room and all came over. Urguzi also turned the camera around and took in all three people, saying with a smile, "Look at these three beauties in our boss's harem." Nanshi was happy to hear Urguzi's words. Zhuoran is shy. Shinsisi bit her lip and glared. Yu Yunfei said, "Urguzi, isn't Shinsisi your little quail?" Urguzi said, "She has already betrayed me and hooked up with Huan. These two are now openly conspiring in front of me to feed me arsenic so that we can have sex tonight. You want to die? You keep talking nonsense every day." Shinsisi walked up and hit Urguzi, then sat next to him and greeted Wang Jingnan and Yu Yunfei in the video. Then, Nanshi also sat next to Cheng Huan and waved to Wang Jingnan and Yu Yunfei in front of the camera. Love the house and love the dog. Now, Cheng Huan's friends are her friends. You have to show your enthusiasm. School beauty, after 4 years, you finally said something to me. Yu Yunfei was quite excited when he heard Nanshi's greetings. In the past, they could only watch Nanshi from afar and had no chance to talk to her at all. When will you two return to school? I'll treat you two to dinner then. Nanshi said generously again. If you can deal with the guys around Cheng Huan, you're halfway to success. Just like how Cheng Huan had controlled her 3 roommates, he fed her sweet talk every day. Wang Jingnan said, "Hello, sister-in-law. I will be able to go back around the 10th of next month." When Nanshi heard Yu Yunfei calling her sister-in-law, her pretty face was full of joy. She nodded readily, "When you come back, I'll treat you to 2 meals. At this time, Zhuoran felt very uncomfortable. There was no comparison before. So she could still maintain her dignity in front of Cheng Huan. Now Nanshi is here. She couldn't hold on any longer. A boy like Cheng Huan who has good looks, talent and wealth. She must compete well with Nanshi. She was seen sitting on the other side of Cheng Huan, leaning her head towards Cheng Huan, and greeting Wang Jingnan and Yu Yunfei in the video. Hi tilde. Hello, sister-in-law. This time, Yu Yunfei learned his lesson and quickly tried to please Zhuoran. Now, no matter which one is the real sister-in-law and which one is the fake sister-in-law. In short, they all shouted, and there is no doubt about it. These days, if you are sweet-mouthed, you won't suffer any loss. Don't offend anyone. Hearing this name, Zhuoran blushed. But he did not refuse and smiled at Yunfei. Damn, did you two eat shit tonight? Your mouths are so sweet. Cheng Huan cursed at the 2 men with a smile. As soon as I came up, I paid homage to the top of the mountain. Is this okay? Chapter 26, Things Money Can't Buy. Not long after, a group of hotel waiters came in pushing a food cart. Various meals began to be delivered to Cheng Huan and his friends. It filled a large table in the suite's dining room. Boss, it's time to eat. A beautiful waitress in a red cheongsam entered the small living room and said to Cheng Huan. After hearing this, Cheng Huan waved goodbye to Wang Jingnan and Yu Yunfei and turned off the video. Everyone walked into the restaurant. The table was filled with lobster, abalone, marbled beef, bluefin tuna sashimi, Spanish ham, white sturgeon caviar, French fried foie gras. Of course, there were also 2 bottles of Moutai in ochre bottles and 2 bottles of red wine with the name Romani Conti written on them that he specifically requested. Click, click, click. Before they even started eating, the 3 girls took out their cell phones and started taking photos and videos. It's time to post on WeChat Moments and start showing off again. There's nothing I can do about it, it's a woman's hobby. After the 3 women finished taking the photos, everyone sat down in their respective seats. On both sides of Cheng Huan, one is Nanshi and the other is Zhuoran. One is cold and noble, the other is gentle and elegant. Oh my god, this is Moutai 15 years old. Seeing the 2 bottles of Moutai, Urguzi exclaimed. This is the top-grade vintage Moutai. A 15-year-old one is worth at least 8,000 yuan. He knew him because they had drunk together once before. I'll take care of you tonight, drink. Cheng Huan smiled. Although they are not alcoholics. But I still yearn for good wine. I feel relieved when you say this. Urguzi said with a happy look on his face. Can you drink? Cheng Huan asked Nanshi and Zhuoran who were beside him. Able. They both nodded. Now is not the time to show weakness. Next, the 5 of them ate and chatted. With Urguzi, the lively guy, livening up the atmosphere, everyone was in a very happy mood. When people are happy, drinking becomes a pleasure. 2 bottles of Moutai were quickly drunk by the 5 of them. Of course, it was mainly because Cheng Huan and Erguzi drank too much. One person can drink more than 6 taels. The rest were taken by the 3 women, Shinsisi, Nanshi and Zhuaran. Then they started drinking the 2 bottles of red wine. After looking at the red wine with foreign words on it, Erguzi asked a nearby waiter what kind of wine it was. He didn't know French, let alone this wine. Before the waiter could introduce the wine, Nanshi, with a red face, introduced it to them first. This red wine is called Romanée Conti, known as the king of wines, but the production is very small. Wine master Robert Parker said that Romanée Conti is a wine that multi-millionaires can afford, but only billionaires can afford to drink. This bottle of 2007 Chateau Conti should cost around 260,000 yuan. After hearing Nanshi's introduction, Erguzi and the others all widened their eyes. Even Cheng Huan was slightly surprised. They didn't expect that this bottle of red wine would cost 260,000 yuan. Poverty limits their imagination. Damn, if I had known this wine was so expensive, I would not have drunk Moutai before. At this time, Erguzi complained. Their face grew longer again. A bottle of Moutai costs only over 8,000 yuan. This bottle of red wine costs 260,000 yuan. Cheng Huan said to Erguzi generously, "Drink as much as you can tonight. I will let them serve you as much as you can drink. Then I won't be polite." Erguzi said with a smile. Because this red wine is so expensive, Erguzi really drinks it like crazy. Even Cheng Huan and the 3 girls didn't hold back and started drinking heavily. Soon, the 2 bottles of Chateau Conti were finished by the 5 of them. "Give us 5 more bottles," Cheng Huan instructed the waiter nearby. "This wine is really delicious." The waiter said to Cheng Huan, "Boss, Mr. Wang has instructed that we only have 2 bottles of this wine in our hotel. What is something that is hard to buy even with money? This is exactly it. No matter how rich Cheng Huan is, he can't drink it now." Nanshi explained, "In a good year, we can only produce more than 6,000 bottles of this wine, and in a bad year, we can only produce more than 3,000 bottles. Just think about how many rich people there are in the world waiting to drink this wine. So, we are lucky to be able to drink 2 bottles tonight." After hearing this, Erguzi said with a disappointed look on his face, "Damn, I thought I could really drink as much as I want tonight, but it turned out to be a false alarm." Upon hearing what he said, Cheng Huan rolled his eyes at him. He didn't expect that this wine was so scarce. I spoke out of turn. Suddenly, Cheng Huan remembered that there seemed to be 51% of the shares of Romanée Conti winery for sale in the system mall. It's just that the price is too expensive, as high as 30 billion worth of super rich people. However, there is a 2% chance of winning. As the saying goes, having hair doesn't mean you are bald. This 2% winning rate is also a hope. Moreover, he has now purchased 3 products: Chanel, Basketball King Card, and Singing King Card. There are 9 items left in the mall. The probability of being selected has greatly increased. System, I want 10 consecutive draws. In order to be able to drink this kind of wine every day in the future, he wants to take a chance. What if your luck explodes? Even if you win other products, that's not bad either. Ding, thank you for your patronage. Ding, thank you for your patronage. After thanking him 9 times in a row, Cheng Huan's face turned black. I secretly prayed in my heart that he wouldn't jingle and say, "Thank you for your patronage," 10 times. This is so damn expensive. That's 100 million at a time. This is probably the most generous lottery in the world. Ding, thank you for your patronage. Fuck. Cheng Huan cursed in his heart. 1 billion worth of wealth was just wasted. System, your lottery is a scam. Cheng Huan was dissatisfied and went to the system to settle the score. Ding, this system has already given a reminder that there is an 85% chance that the prize will be "Thank you for your patronage" in each draw. Looking at the 700 million godly rich points he still had left, Cheng Huan decided to give it another try. Slap me 7 more times. If he doesn't win anything this time, I won't play next time even if I kill him. Ding, thank you for your patronage. Ding, thank you for your patronage. After saying "Thank you for your patronage" 6 times in a row, Cheng Huan's face turned very dark. Ding, congratulations to their host for winning 2 billion in godly rich value. Finally, on the 7th try, he won. Moreover, it is a grand prize worth 2 billion. This time the 7 consecutive draws were pretty good. He earned back all the money he had lost and made a profit of 300 million. Another 10 draw streak. Ding, congratulations to the host for winning the formula for the rejuvenating cream. After the button "Thank you for your patronage" rang 4 times in a row, he finally heard that he had won an item. He took a look at the introduction of the rejuvenating cream. It's nothing more than some chemical formulas to cheat women out of their money. Now, there are 8 items left in them all. The chances of winning the jackpot are greater. Cheng Huan decided to pursue the victory. He just didn't believe that he wouldn't be able to win the Romanée Conti winery today. It would be even better if we could win an oil field. Chapter 27. Today is a good day. Next, the sound of "thank you for your patronage" was heard continuously. With the spirit of never giving up, Cheng Huan bought another 10 draw pack. But I was disappointed again. In just a dozen seconds, 2 billion worth of wealth was gone. Cheng Huan was furious. Grandma Chapiz. System, exchange 1 billion godly rich points for main. Cheng Huan began to use his savings to exchange for godly rich points. Even though he was so depressed that he wanted to vomit blood. But his unyielding spirit makes him never tired of it. If he doesn't win the Chateau Conti today, he would sell all his hotels, villas and supercars. Just so stubborn. Unfortunately, the 1 billion was wasted again, all thanks for your patronage. Another 10 draw streak. This time, out of 10 consecutive draws, he won the set of Song Dynasty Ru Kill tea set. Although this set of tea set is very valuable. But Cheng Huan only drinks wine and rarely drinks tea. What tea to drink, young man? Gotta drink. Now, there are only 7 items left in them all. The probability has increased again. Cheng Huan, why are you standing there without saying anything and being so depressed? Seeing that Cheng Huan was distracted and didn't say anything, Erguzi asked. Cheng Huan came back to his senses and said, "I'm thinking about something, you guys continue." "There's no more wine, what are you continuing?" Erguzi said. "Keep eating." After Cheng Huan rolled his eyes at Erguzi, he instructed the system to exchange 1 billion godly rich points. He had a conflict with the lottery today. If he can't win the winery, he will never give up. Ding, congratulations to the host for winning 5 billion in godly rich value. Ding, congratulations to the host for winning 5 billion in godly rich value. Ding, congratulations to the host for winning 51% of the shares of the European Viver Model Agency. All registration procedures have been completed. This time, I drew 10 times in a row and finally won 3 grand prizes. Cheng Huan's gloomy face finally lit up a little. System, is this model agency buying back at the original price? Ding, yes. Sell it, and help me buy the shares of Domaine Romanée Conti in exchange for another 3 billion. This useless company is of no use to him. He doesn't plan to have a harem, so it's better not to have one. Ding, it is recommended that the host mortgage 51% of the shares of the European Viver Model Agency to this system. After obtaining enough godly rich value in the future, you can redeem it. After all, the companies in the mall are carefully selected by this system and will be more valuable in the future. Is this still possible? Cheng Huan was stunned for a moment. Of course, this system is fully functional. Then mortgage it. Ding, 51% of the shares of European Viver Model Agency were successfully mortgaged, and 28 billion worth of wealth was obtained. Ding has purchased 51% of the shares of Domaine Romanée Conti, and all registration procedures have been completed. Ding, 3 billion has been exchanged. Ding dong. A text message came on the mobile phone, reminding me that 3 billion had arrived. Yeah. When Cheng Huan heard the system prompt sound, he couldn't help but shout loudly. From then on, he became the largest shareholder of Chateau Conti. Drink as much as you want. No matter who tries to stop him, it will be useless. Today is definitely a good day. His loud shout scared Nancy and the others so much that they almost jumped up, looking at him with a puzzled expression. There's no more wine to drink, what the hell are you doing? Coming back to his senses, Erguzi rolled his eyes at Cheng Huan. Cheng Huan laughed and said, "Not today, but sooner or later, I will let you drink from the barrel." Erguzi laughed after hearing this and said, "You said that, we all heard it. If you lie, you are liar." Cheng Huan nodded, and then secretly asked the system, "Can you find the phone number of the manager of Chateau Conti?" Yes, it has been sent to their host's mobile phone. Byte. At this time, Cheng Huan's cell phone rang. The text message came. He clicked on it and saw the contact information of Orlant Weiland. Who among you speaks English well? After seeing the contact information, Cheng Huan asked Nanxi and the other three women. Although he and Erguzi can have a simple conversation in English, it's all in Chinese. I guess only locals can understand it. Nanxi said, my English is level 6, but I am not good at conversation and I forget words easily. Shenxi smiled bitterly and said, I'm level 4. Zuoran said, I have passed the level 6 exam and can communicate in English. Wow, you are indeed a top student. Cheng Huan asked Zuoran, I am a major shareholder of Chateau Conti, what do you say? Zuoran translated this sentence to Cheng Huan with a puzzled look on her face. After Cheng Huan wrote it down, he directly dialed the number. Soon, the phone was connected and a burst of gibberish in French came out. Cheng Huan said in his somewhat embarrassing English, Hello, Aranti Villand, I am Cheng Huan, the major shareholder of Chateau Conti. After listening to Cheng Huan's Chinese English, everyone in the room was surprised. When did Cheng Huan become the major shareholder of Romanée Conti Winery? Since he is a major shareholder, how come he doesn't even recognize the wine produced by his own winery? They are now finding it increasingly difficult to understand Cheng Huan. When Orlant heard it was Cheng Huan, he smiled and said, Hello, Mr. Cheng, I'm glad to receive your call. Do you have any instructions? Cheng Huan could tell that Orlante was probably over 60 years old. He said, Wait a minute, I'll let my translator talk to you. Orlant said, Okay. Cheng Huan handed the phone to Zuoran and told her, Translate according to what I say. Zuoran nodded. Cheng Huan said, I need some red wine now. Send some to the Imperial International Hotel in Jingang City, Huaxia, as quickly as possible. Zuoran translated according to Cheng Huan's words with trepidation. After hearing what Zuoran said, the other party did not react much. Instead, he spoke a series of English words calmly. Zuoran said to Cheng Huan, he said he knew and will arrange for someone to send you 100 boxes of 11 types of wine from the winery right away. When they heard that so much wine was delivered, everyone clicked their tongues. Damn it. How much does this cost? Wrong. This is not something that money can buy. After hearing this, Cheng Huan said, Tell him that this amount of wine is not enough for me to drink. I need at least 200 boxes. Let him come to Huaxia if he has a chance. I'll treat him to Moutai and barbecue. The wine cellar in my villa is quite large. This little bit of wine can't fill the bottle at all. If even the major shareholders of a winery can't drink the good wine produced by their own winery, then what's the point of having this winery? He was so angry that he refused to sell a single bottle and kept it all for himself. So arrogant. Zuoran translated it again. Orlant continued to talk a lot on the phone. Zuoran said, he said no problem, he will definitely meet your needs. If he has time, he will definitely come to China. I hope you have time to visit the winery. He will treat you with the best French cuisine. Chapter 28 What a coincidence. Cheng Huan said with a pleased look on his face, Tell him that I will go to pick grapes in the fall and make a few barrels of red wine myself. Soon, Zuoran translated Cheng Huan's words. Then, Orlant also said a few more words. After listening, Zuoran also put down her phone. After handing it back to Cheng Huan, he said that it must be the most delicious wine in the world. He is looking forward to your coming. After Cheng Huan put away his phone, he smiled and said, Let him wait and see. Huan, when did you become a major shareholder of Chateau Conti? At this time, Nanxi asked with a look of surprise. Cheng Huan shrugged, It's a long story, so don't ask. Forget it if you don't want to talk about it. Nanxi pouted her lips. Seeing her delicate and lovely appearance, Cheng Huan felt conflicted again. I inherited some inheritance. Cheng Huan had no choice but to explain it this way. This will be the explanation in the future. Huan, where are we going next? Erguzi asked, still feeling a little unsatisfied. There is no wine to drink now. Just move on to the next show. In the past, he was basically the one who arranged everything. We have to kill the big guys today. Cheng Huan looked at the time. It was almost 9 o'clock. He said, What else can I do? Let's go back to school and sleep. Don't worry. When he heard that Cheng Huan was going back to school, Erguzi said anxiously, there is only one 520 a year, and there are two campus beauties accompanying you. Tomorrow is the weekend, so why are you going to sleep? Huan, why don't we go karaoke? Nanshi, who was standing by, suddenly hugged Cheng Huan's right arm, rested her head on his shoulder and said, I want to hear you sing the song A Dream That Can't Awaken. I've been listening to it on repeat for the whole afternoon. It's so beautiful. This girl obviously doesn't consider herself an outsider anymore. Even though Cheng Huan pushed it secretly, it didn't move. He really wanted to ask Nanshi, are you still the cold and arrogant school belle? Why are you acting like a dog licker now? Because of so many people involved, he couldn't get angry. Just let her be happy for one night. I will continue to be a passerby tomorrow. Huan, I want to sing, too. Soon, Shinsisi also said to Cheng Huan with shining eyes. Erguzi said, I have no objection either. Now, only Zhuoran did not express his opinion. She now feels like an outsider and it is not easy for her to express her opinions casually. Zhuoran, do you want to go? Seeing that Zhuoran was the only one who hadn't spoken, Cheng Huan looked at her. Zhuoran hesitated for a moment, then nodded to Cheng Huan and said, if you all go, I'll go too. After hearing this, Cheng Huan asked the Cheongsam waiter nearby, is there a KTV in our hotel? The waiter nodded and said, the 15th floor of the hotel is the business club, where you can sing. Cheng Huan said, go and help me arrange it. We'll go downstairs in a bit and find me a guitar to send in. Okay. The waiter responded and went out to make arrangements. At this moment, Erguzi on the opposite side was grinning foolishly at Cheng Huan again. Seeing this smile, Cheng Huan simply picked up a piece of bread and threw it at him. I can't laugh. After Erguzi dodged for a while, he looked very indignant. You're not funny. Cheng Huan rolled his eyes at him. Erguzi continued to laugh and said, I see that you and the two school beauties look like a couple. I want to know what you will choose in the future. Puff. Shinsisi burst into laughter. Nanshi had a beaming smile on her face. Zhuoran lowered her head with a red face. This guy is really outspoken and dares to say anything. Sisi, where's the arsenic? You fed it to him. Cheng Huan said to Shinsisi. Da Lang, take your medicine. The next moment, Shinsisi picked up a piece of sashimi, dipped it in a lot of mustard sauce, and put it into Erguzi's mouth. After a while, Erguzi started to cry and snot. Seeing him like this, he made all three beauties laugh out loud. This mustard can definitely relax your muscles, invigorate your blood circulation, and open up your brain and spirit. It's enough to wake Ergu up. Not long after, the waitress came back and informed Cheng Huan that a private room had been arranged in the club and he could go downstairs to play now. I'm leaving. Cheng Huan shouted, then got up and went downstairs. A few minutes later, everyone arrived at the business club on the 15th floor. As soon as I got out of the elevator, I saw a pretty female manager, about 30 years old, waiting for me. Boss, the private room has been arranged. Seeing Cheng Huan and others coming down, the female manager said. Take us there. Cheng Huan nodded indifferently, with the demeanor of a boss. There was no way, his body had been cleansed by the system. Naturally, he possesses some of the aura of a superior. Boss, please. The female manager stretched out her hand and led Cheng Huan and the others towards a private room in the club. This club is decorated luxuriously and golden, with an air of tycoonism everywhere. Just when Cheng Huan had followed the female manager not far, he saw a little girl running out of a private room. She was dressed in a fresh and bright style and was very pretty. Cheng Huan looked at her. And she also looked at Cheng Huan. Soon, Cheng Huan stopped and laughed at her. My great niece, what a coincidence. The little girl was so beautiful after changing into her new clothes that he almost didn't recognize her. After hearing this, Erguzi and others were filled with question marks. When did Cheng Huan have such a beautiful niece? It's really haunting. Soon, the little girl pouted and looked at Cheng Huan with disapproval. Seeing her like this, Cheng Huan decided to play a good trick on her. To avenge the trick she gave me this afternoon. He put his hands behind his back, pretending to be mature, and asked the girl with a smile, didn't your mother call you in the evening? What's it to you? The girl glared at Cheng Huan again. In the evening, Li Tsuetsue did call her. He also gave her Cheng Huan's cell phone number and WeChat account and asked her to apologize to Cheng Huan. But the girl agreed on the surface, and then chose to forget about it. It was Cheng Huan who was staring at him with a lustful look and not looking at the road. Who should he look for after falling down? You want her to apologize? Maybe next life. He. Cheng Huan smiled. He guessed that Li Tsuetsue definitely didn't scold her lightly. Otherwise there wouldn't be such resistance. However, he overthought. At this time, another man walked out of the private room. He is not very old, only about 20 years old. He was wearing a Prada casual suit and had a short crew cut. He has a face that looks like he's been beaten. Looks so cool. As soon as he came out, the young man with the flat head gave Cheng Huan a very unfriendly look. Then, he asked the little girl with a suspicious look on his face, "Wen Yuxuan, who is this person?" After hearing what the young man with the flat head said, Cheng Huan finally knew the girl's name. It sounds pretty nice. Who he is has nothing to do with you. Soon, Wen Yuxuan spoke to the young man with the flat head in a cold voice. It seems that this young man is even less popular than Cheng Huan.